lọ́jọ́ tí ò ní sí jojúmọ́ kọ̀ lájẹ wa. ẹnu jàjẹ́ tán lówùúrọ̀ yòrò ń dé balalẹ̀. fọwọ́ mẹ́wẹ̀ẹ̀wá jẹun tó bá ti tàn ojú ajá. bàbá rọ́jú febi panu ebi ò ní padà wà panu.
ewúrẹ́ mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀gbẹ̀ta àgùntàn mẹ́fẹ̀ẹ̀gbẹ̀fà ọ̀tá nǹkan pálíra nǹkan wọ́n torí gángan ó fi raṣọ kejì pa olówó mọ̀wé orin òde mẹ́ni tó bá wí.
àríjú tako tó yá o ọ̀rọ̀ kan rẹ̀ wá gbọ́. kò sí iye tí ò lè raṣọ o aróde ọ̀nà jẹ. afẹ́ ayé nírú wọn o ó bá bàrà jọmọ lọ. wọ́n fọmọ sílẹ̀ kò tọmọ o ó ń fọjọ́ ọ̀la ẹ̀ ṣeré. aṣọ ń bọ̀ wá dàbísà bó tilẹ̀ wù kó wọn tó. owó ta fi tọmọ kì í gbé tó rọmọ lọ́la ẹni. wọ́n fọwọ́ kọ́lé kò tọmọ ẹ sọ fún kó tanra ẹ̀ jẹ. sọ fún kó fi tọmọ lẹ́ni.
When booking a trip, you might be thinking to yourself, what else could possibly go wrong?
ìrìn owó lé ọ̀hún ọmọ náà gbẹ́lẹ̀ ọ̀hún tán tó rọ́mọ ló yẹ ká tọ́.
ewúrẹ́ mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀gbẹ̀ta àgùntàn mẹ́fẹ̀ẹ̀gbẹ̀fà ọ̀tá nǹkan pálíra nǹkan wọ́n torí gángan ó fi raṣọ kejì pa olówó mọ̀wé orin òde mẹ́ni tó bá wí.
láàrin ẹgbẹ́ wòye o. láàrin ẹgbẹ́ wòye o ṣaṣíwájú ló jẹ́ àbíkó ẹ̀yìn ló sì wá látọ̀dún ìwí ká gbọ́. ayé mọ̀ pọ̀ ń ṣiṣẹ́ gan-an ìjọ ní achievement. ọ̀rọ̀ dúró gbàgbọ́dọ̀ ìbéèrè mi pèsè jẹ́. ayé ò ṣe yá o ọ̀rẹ́ wa o ìwọ gan ló ṣe ra ẹ. òfiṣẹ́ ṣeré lóòótọ́ o àmọ́ òfowó ṣeré. ó gbàgbé pọ́dọ̀dọ̀ lówó nínú ẹrùn ló ń so. àfi ká máa bomi wọn alálọ́ tán kì í tẹ́gbẹ́. iṣẹ́ kan náà tẹjọ́ ń ṣe àwọn ẹgbẹ́ fi ń ṣeun re. àfojúsùn ló ní o ti ń ṣe kọ́kọ́rọ́ àṣeyọrí.
ewúrẹ́ mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀gbẹ̀ta àgùntàn mẹ́fẹ̀ẹ̀gbẹ̀fà ọ̀tá nǹkan pálíra nǹkan wọ́n torí gángan ó fi raṣọ kejì pa olówó mọ̀wé orin òde mẹ́ni tó bá wí.
òṣìṣẹ́ bí ẹgbẹ̀rún kan lọ́nà mẹ́rin fọjọ́ kan. kàkà kó nẹ́gbẹ̀rún méjì kó tọ́jú méjì irọ́ ni. lọ́la fọwọ́ ṣe àgbèrè àbí kó mú ta mú para. iṣẹ́ tó fọ́pọ̀ wákàtí ṣe ìṣẹ́jú díẹ̀ ní òfin náà. iṣẹ́ láríyá òróró lórúkọ ìlú wọn. bíyàwó àtọmọ bá bèrè owó lọ́wọ́ ìlú wọn. kòsíkòsí náà ni táwọn ti ṣe táwọn ti ná. alánà tó nínú àpá ìròjúṣe ẹ̀ ṣe fàyà. ìrẹ́tọ̀ṣẹ́ lórí ọmọ nínú ẹbí ẹ̀ yóò yẹpẹrẹ. tó bá yọ bá mú lòwúrọ̀ ebi apá àpàkú lálẹ́.
ewúrẹ́ mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀gbẹ̀ta àgùntàn mẹ́fẹ̀ẹ̀gbẹ̀fà ọ̀tá nǹkan pálíra nǹkan wọ́n torí gángan ó fi raṣọ kejì pa olówó mọ̀wé orin òde mẹ́ni tó bá wí.
yóò tọrọ jẹ́ níbẹ̀ ni o. yóò tọrọ jẹ́ níbẹ̀ ni o. alájẹtàn kò sọgbọ́n ó fẹ́ bó sì túkọ̀ yóò fẹ́ wú ṣiṣẹ́ àbárù. yóò ṣerú sí ọmọ inú ẹ̀ àkóbàtà fẹ́gbẹ́. jáyéjáyé fẹ̀sọ̀ sí ìmáṣẹ́jẹ́ tọ́ lámọ́. torí bí wọ́n bá jáyédé tajẹ́ṣẹ́ kò bá sí. gbogbo bẹ́ẹ̀ ló jìyà tó jẹ́wé ìyáde. ìgbà mẹ́ta nígbà ẹ̀dá òwúrọ̀ ọ̀sán pẹ̀lú alẹ́. òwúrọ̀ ó máa júwe ọ̀sán ọ̀sán máa júwe alẹ́. àgbẹ̀ tó jí lóko lówùúrọ̀ tó fún irúgbìn tó wálé. tó tún wá padà sóko lọ́sàn tó lọ bomi sí. ó máa kéré oko kò sọ́gbọ́n ẹ̀ ó di ní ọjọ́ alẹ́.
ewúrẹ́ mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀gbẹ̀ta àgùntàn mẹ́fẹ̀ẹ̀gbẹ̀fà ọ̀tá nǹkan pálíra nǹkan wọ́n torí gángan ó fi raṣọ kejì pa olówó mọ̀wé orin òde mẹ́ni tó bá wí.
máa fa kòkò ṣeré ọ̀rẹ́ mi rántí pọ́jọ́ ayé òdúró ọjọ́ ń lọ. àkókò ṣe mú sólókun ṣe tó bá fẹ́ ṣe wọn bá ṣe lówùrọ̀ lórí alẹ́ ni.
máa fa kòkò ṣeré ọ̀rẹ́ mi
ọ̀rẹ́ wa
rántí pọ́jọ́ ayé òdúró ọjọ́ ń lọ.
ó lọ.
àkókò ṣe mú sólókun
ṣe tó bá fẹ́ ṣe
wọn bá ṣe lówùrọ̀ lórí alẹ́ ni.
adébíṣẹ́ máa ṣe àgbà ọ̀lẹ níṣe. káfíwí ọdẹ tó gbàgbé àpòyí tàbí àgbẹ̀ tó gbàgbé àdá. irú ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ kò ní nǹkan ṣe. amórin níṣẹ́ ìyá dínà mìíràn ló fọ̀rọ̀ wá lọ́rùn bíi pé àláyìn. àwọn tó ń bọ̀ wá fi máa ń kan sára wípé ìyá dínà ìpínlẹ̀ music orin. ó tún yàtọ̀ lọ́gbọ́n tó lóye ẹ̀fẹ̀ mi bá mi rìn wọnú ẹ̀mí orin.
máa fa kókó ṣeré ọ̀rẹ́ mi rántí pọ́jọ́ ayé òdúró ọjọ́ ń lọ. ṣe mú sọ́lọ́ kù ṣòun ló bá fẹ́ ṣe. Ó wá bá ṣe lówùrọ̀ rèé alẹ́ ni.
àgbẹ̀lẹ́yà náà ṣàlàkókò yarun ohun téèyàn bá mọ̀ tó tún tọ̀ tẹ̀ pamọ́ kó pẹ́ bóyá yóò di master níbẹ̀ o practice make perfection lọ́rọ̀ lóyìnbó àwọn Yorùbá náà wọ́n sì tún lọ wọ́n bọ̀ tálágbẹ̀dẹ bá lórin lójú kan ó ní láti jẹ́ kó rà mí níbẹ̀ o ó túmọ̀ sí pé tẹ́ńdà bá ṣiṣẹ́ kan tí o bá ti là kó lọ́mọ dájú tó bá tẹra mọ́ aṣáṣe là lọ́jọ́ kan.
Máa fàkókò ṣeré ọ̀rẹ́ mi, wọ́n ti kọjá ayé òdúró ọjọ́ ńlá. Àkókò ṣe mú sọ́lọ́ kù ṣòun ló bá fẹ́ ṣe. Ó wá bá ṣe lówùrọ̀ rèé alẹ́ ni.
òde mo palu fẹ́ni tí ò ṣiṣẹ́ kan ojúmọ́ ṣe mọ́ ara òkò ti lọ àwọn iná nájà ti bọ̀rọ̀ ajé lọ ojú oorun ló wà látàárọ̀ dọ̀sán o bó ṣe tún wájú ìfàjì ló mú ṣe ó wá dáṣọ àpáyé làwọn akọ́ṣe ká tó sọ̀rùn rẹ̀ mọ́ kí ẹ̀ tán o má jayé lọ jayé bí ọlọ́ba ọlọ́kùnrin lára tó mọ̀ òjọ́jọ́ alẹ́ o pípẹ́rù ni tójó bá ṣe tán tó dáa.
Máa fàkókò ṣeré ọ̀rẹ́
ọ̀rẹ́
wa,
wa ṣùgbọ́n
wọ́n ti kọjá ayé òdúró ọjọ́ ńlá.
òdúró dání
Àkókò ṣe mú sọ́lọ́ kù ṣòun ló bá fẹ́ ṣe.
ṣe ń tó
Ó
fẹ́
wá bá ṣe
ṣọlá
lówùrọ̀ rèé alẹ́ ni.
ẹni gbégi eléra sílé o ó kú ìpalẹ̀mọ́ àlejò wa là ń gbá ẹni bá fi irun dúdú ẹ̀ ṣeré o kó palẹ̀mọ́ fúyà lọ́jọ́ ògbó ẹ̀ ọjọ́ ayé ẹ̀dá ó dàbí àgbẹ̀là o ìṣẹ́jú akàn ló máa ń fi yọ o ìwọ wòye sí bó ṣe wà lánàá ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ ló wà lónìí sórí pé ò tí ń gbó kí ló pèsè kalẹ̀ fọ́jọ́ alẹ́ rẹ̀ toró wọn bá ṣe lówùrọ̀ lórí alẹ́ ni.
Máa fàkókò ṣeré ọ̀rẹ́ mi, wọ́n ti kọjá ayé òdúró ọjọ́ ńlá. Àkókò ṣe mú sọ́lọ́ kù ṣòun ló bá fẹ́ ṣe. Ó wá bá ṣe lówùrọ̀ rèé alẹ́ ni.
ó yá ẹ̀pẹ̀ mẹ́pẹ̀ mi lórúkọ mi ò kí n gbọ́.
Iná mísíkà lájà mi lọ sí ilé ọmọ ajá ó. Akọrin pèdè bí ẹni sọ̀rọ̀, bí ẹni jẹ̀kọ́. Ayé bá pẹ́ fi wá mi náà tún pé wọ́n mọ̀ kọ́ lọ́hùn ni.
ẹ̀pẹ̀ mẹ́pẹ̀ mi lórúkọ mi òde o.
Iná mísíkà lájà mi lọ sí ilé ọmọ ajá ó. Akọrin pèdè bí ẹni sọ̀rọ̀, bí ẹni jẹ̀kọ́. Ayé bá pẹ́ fi wá mi náà tún pé wọ́n mọ̀ kọ́ lọ́hùn ni.
ọpẹ́ ọpẹ́
Ọpẹ́ dúdú fẹ́lẹ́ dùmarè, ọba tọpẹ́ ẹ̀yìn àtògbò fẹ́lẹ́ dùmarè, ọba tọpẹ́ tọ́sí. Ọlọ́run àrà ọba dídára, alágbára ńlá, tó ń gbélé ayé mi dára, ayé fi pè mí lálàpọ̀tún.
nínú ọlọ́rin òde.
Mo dúpẹ́ fọ́ba tó ṣàmì ẹ̀sà, tó ṣe mí lógo. Mo fẹ́ rí bí àmì náà tún lọ́pọ̀ ń tọrọ. Àlùbáríkà tó fún mi Ọlọ́run má ṣe jẹ́ kó tán.
ẹ ṣàtìrù kọ́ ni àmì rà.
Ẹ̀kọ́ wọlé mi kéré tó pọ̀ kẹ́jẹ́ mú láyọ̀. Ó máa fi kékeré gbà púpẹ́ nítorí òde. Èmi náà kọ́ Ẹlẹ́dùmarè ló bá mi fàlùbáríkà sí.
ọ̀tá eléyìí ni ẹ lọ jáwọ́.
Ṣé ṣe ń sáré lórí òde? Pàmì ká máa ṣubú. Lọ́sàn-án torú tẹ fi gbìyànjú. Ọlọ́run náà ò sùn. Ọlọ́run ọba bá ṣe ń bẹ ipa yìí ò lè kú káwa.
ọ̀tá mi ò ní kú
Àmín.
àmọ́ kò ní gbádùn.
Àmín. Kọ́rọ̀ lápá kọ́rọ̀ lẹ́sẹ̀ kó má ṣe gbádùn ayé. Kó má di létí Ọlọ́run ni ó má jẹ́ kó fọ́ lójú. Ó lè máa gbọ́ kó sì má rí ohun ara tí má gbá èmi ṣe.
àníyàn tá mi ò ní kú
Àmín.
àmọ́ kò ní gbádùn.
Àmín. Kọ́rọ̀ lápá kọ́rọ̀ lẹ́sẹ̀ kó má ṣe gbádùn ayé. Kó má di létí Ọlọ́run ni ó má jẹ́ kó fọ́ lójú. Ó lè máa gbọ́ kó sì má rí ohun ara tí má gbá èmi ṣe.
ó yá mo ti lè ta gbogbo wọn.
Mo ti lè ta gbogbo wọn.
ọ̀tá ilé ọ̀tá òde.
Mo ti lè ta gbogbo wọn.
ọ̀tá iṣẹ́ orogún owó.
Mo ti lè ta gbogbo wọn.
ẹni tó lóhùn fẹ́ dínà.
Mo ti lè ta gbogbo wọn.
ẹni bí tún wá ṣubú mi.
Mo ti lè ta gbogbo wọn.
ọlọ́run mi ti jù yín lọ.
Mo ti lè ta gbogbo wọn.
ọ̀tá lè tó fojú jọrẹ mi.
Mo ti lè ta gbogbo wọn.
ọ̀rẹ́ tó ṣe pé ọ̀tá ni.
Mo ti lè ta gbogbo wọn.
afẹ́ jẹ́ má máa fi ayọ̀.
Mo ti lè ta gbogbo wọn.
ọ̀tá tún fẹ́ kí n bébí sùn.
Mo ti lè ta gbogbo wọn.
ọ̀tá tún fẹ́ kí n máa wà wọ̀ sùn.
Mo ti lè ta gbogbo wọn.
ọ̀tá tún fẹ́ kí n dá lákìsà.
Mo ti lè ta gbogbo wọn.
ọ̀tá tún fẹ́ kí n dá ní àná.
Mo ti lè ta gbogbo wọn.
mo ti lè ta gbogbo wọn.
Mo ti lè ta gbogbo wọn.
ọlọ́run
ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bílẹ̀ àbílàbí tó dẹ̀ ní ẹ̀kan lọ́dọ̀ rẹ̀ ọlọ́run.
Bóyá bó bá ń lékún sí wọn táwọn bá lè tó sí ẹ ọ̀rẹ́ mi kò burú iṣẹ́ kálukú ni ó jẹ́ fáwọn lọ́lọ́run lọ́wọ́.
bó bá ń lékún sí wọn táwọn bá lè tó sí ẹ ọ̀rẹ́ mi kò burú iṣẹ́ kálukú ni ó jẹ́ fáwọn lọ́lọ́run lọ́wọ́.
tó bá ń lékún sí wọn tó bá ń lékún sí wọn táwọn bá lè tó sí ẹ ọ̀rẹ́ mi kò burú iṣẹ́ kálukú ni ó jẹ́ fáwọn lọ́lọ́run lọ́wọ́.
bó bá ń lékún sí wọn táwọn bá lè tó sí ẹ ọ̀rẹ́ mi kò burú iṣẹ́ kálukú ni ó jẹ́ fáwọn lọ́lọ́run lọ́wọ́.
táyé bá fẹ́ yín sí ẹ. táyé bá fẹ́ yín sí ẹ ọ̀rẹ́ má finú tán wọn torí pójú lárí o inú ẹ̀ dájì gan. ká fọ́rọ́nù pé tiẹ̀ rìn ìwà ẹ̀dá ayé ṣàní ẹ̀dá lónìí káfẹ́ ni. lójú kábù nílẹ̀yìn nínú ara ẹni ọ̀tá bẹ níbẹ̀ ká ṣọ́ra nínú ọ̀tá ẹni ọ̀rẹ́ bẹ níbẹ̀ ṣọ́ra ṣe. afẹ́ni lójú má dọ̀kan lọ́tá inú ọ̀rẹ́ ẹni. afẹ́nilẹ́yìn máa fi hàn lọ́rẹ́ inú ọ̀tá ẹni. ẹ̀nà sáfúntà tún gbọ́dọ̀ sáfúntàn lẹ̀ dáyé.
bó bá ń lékún sí wọn táwọn bá lè tó sí ẹ ọ̀rẹ́ mi kò burú iṣẹ́ kálukú ni ó jẹ́ fáwọn lọ́lọ́run lọ́wọ́.
Ìfẹ́ tí ń bẹ láyé o. Ìfẹ́ tí ń bẹ láyé o. Ti pẹ́ ayé là ń bá. Ọ̀dàlẹ̀ ìfẹ́ náà ti wà àti pẹ́ látètè kọ́ ṣe. Kífẹ́ ládùn lówùrọ̀ lọ́sàn kò sì wá kan. Ìṣe ọgọ́jú òrìrì. Ilé ayé là bá. Ìwọ tí ìfẹ́ ti dà yẹn kárí bọ́nú o. Ìdè kọnu ju ẹnu ẹni abínibí dání. Bàbá ní ìfẹ́ léwu kan lọ́ ládùn ọkọ̀rọ̀. Ó ti ṣe é rí ni. Méṣe dání kátùgùn. Ronú kó tó yàn fẹ́. Àpọ́nlé ìfẹ́ lásán ni. Kò sí koríkosùn. I love you torí tọrùn. Kí ló ń jẹbẹ̀ irọ́ ni? Ẹyá lè lékun sọ́kọ ẹ̀. Kọ́kọ́ lè jò sáyà. Ọkọ lè lékun sáyà ẹ̀. Káyà ó lè jò sọ́kọ. Bílí ayé ṣe rí nù. Mi ò sọ pé kò sí ìfẹ́. Ìfẹ́ pọ́njú pẹ́ ládánwò. Látúmẹ́ni tó fẹ́ ni. Ìfẹ́ òtítọ́ ò wọ́pọ̀. Ìfẹ́ tán ló pọ̀ láyé.
bó bá ń lékún sí wọn táwọn bá lè tó sí ẹ ọ̀rẹ́ mi kò burú iṣẹ́ kálukú ni ó jẹ́ fáwọn lọ́lọ́run lọ́wọ́.
Wo inú ẹni kọ́ mọ̀ o. Inú ẹni kọ́ mọ̀ o. Má finú tẹ́nìtẹ́nì. Kò sí ti ń jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mọ́. Kárẹ́ ní bani lásán ni. Kò sólùbàṣírí mọ́. Tùnàṣírí má ló kù. Mọ̀ sínú mọ̀ síkù. Ní ó fàṣírí ẹ̀ ṣe. Wọ́n á fi ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ lẹ́yà. Ó fàṣírí ẹ̀wọ̀n wọn. Kárí ni lókèrè kábù ni. Bó súnmọ́ wọn kán kí ẹ̀. Ìwà ẹ̀dá ayé ni. Ọlọ́run ló mèèyàn re. Èèyàn re ò wọ́pọ̀. Èèyàn bí ló pọ̀ bí omi. Ẹ̀dá ayé ń bá kú. Fi wọ́n wá láǹgbá ni. Tó dànù délẹ̀ o. Táwọn méjì sínú. Ẹ̀nà sáfúntà tún gbúdọ̀ sáfúntàn lẹ̀ dáyé.
bó bá ń lékún sí wọn táwọn bá lè tó sí ẹ ọ̀rẹ́ mi kò burú iṣẹ́ kálukú ni ó jẹ́ fáwọn lọ́lọ́run lọ́wọ́.
Àbọ̀dàlẹ̀ bá lówùrọ̀. tó dọ́lọ́lá ẹnìkan lè tó sílẹ̀ nǹkan ló díje ọlá díje pẹ̀lú ẹni tó fẹ́ tó nínú ẹni ìtìlá tó bá yege nínú ìdíje ọ̀hún ló tó dọ́lọ́lá.
ìdíje là ń fẹ́rẹ̀ aláṣẹ ká tó dọ́lọ́lá ẹnìkan lè tó sílẹ̀ nǹkan ló díje ọlá díje pẹ̀lú ẹni tó fẹ́ tó nínú ẹni ìtìlá tó bá yege nínú ìdíje ọ̀hún ló tó dọ́lọ́lá.
ìdíje là ń fẹ́rẹ̀ aláṣẹ ká tó dọ́lọ́lá. ìdíje la ń fẹ́rẹ̀ la ṣe ká tó dọ́lọ́lá ẹnìkan lè tó sílẹ̀ nǹkan ló ń díje ọlá díje pẹ̀lú ẹni tó fẹ́ tó nínú ẹni ìtìlá tó bá yege nínú díje òun ló tó dọ́lọ́lá.
ìdíje là ń fẹ́rẹ̀ la ṣe ká tó dọ́lọ́lá ẹnìkan lè tó sílẹ̀ nǹkan ló ń díje ọlá díje pẹ̀lú ẹni tó fẹ́ tó nínú ẹni ìtìlá tó bá yege nínú díje òun ló tó dọ́lọ́lá.
alájà mi náà Kingdom Music ó bí rere ọwọ́ máa lọ ṣíwájú ijó láwùjọ rere lílù ṣe máa ṣíwájú ọ̀tẹ̀ tó rí ń dòwe àtọ́pátẹ́yìn Fàlàhùsà ti ọba re tí ò fi mí lẹ́nìgbà kọ̀ọ̀kan tó ṣọ̀nà mi níre alẹ́kùn rẹ̀ máa ní mo fẹ́ ṣe fún mi ọba re níbi ìṣọjọ́ mi tí mò ń ṣe wá dá mi láre káráyé má ṣe kàtọ́ mi ṣọ̀nà mi níre jẹ́ kí n ṣiṣẹ́ jàre iṣẹ́ jẹ́ kí n ríre má ṣe mí ló ń ṣe aláhùn ràṣẹ́ mi ló lóríire ẹni bá fẹ́ làkọlù láyé àdíje rere oníṣẹ́ mẹ́la kò ní ṣọlẹ̀ yóò máa sáré láti jẹ́ èèyàn kó lè rọrùn kò wá ní ṣeré tòró ti dájú pé kò ṣeré nídìí eré.
ìdíje là ń fẹ́rẹ̀ aláṣẹ ká tó dọ́lọ́lá ẹnìkan lè tó sílẹ̀ nǹkan ló díje ọlá díje pẹ̀lú ẹni tó fẹ́ tó nínú ẹni ìṣọ̀lá kó bá yege nínú ìdíje ọ̀hún ló tó dọ́lọ́lá.
ká tó jẹ́ wúrọ́ kó tó ládùn yóò kóró kankan. tó ládùn yóò kóró kankan kátólẹ̀ là kátó dọ́lọ́lá kì í ṣe ṣọ́jọ́ kan kò fẹ́ kọ́ lọ́lá pẹ̀rẹ̀ ránṣẹ́ nígbà kọ̀ọ̀kan wá múra tíṣẹ́ apá ẹni ní kíkankíkan má sún má jókòó tẹ́tẹ́ rẹ̀ nígbà kọ̀ọ̀kan nígbàgbọ́ síbi tó ń lọ kò sì ní lọ́kàn pé wọn náà á jẹ́ níyàn láyé lọ́jọ́ ọjọ́ kan sáré àti là ọ̀rẹ́ wa mú máa ké kankan gbàgbẹ́ ní ṣíṣẹ́ àjàre ìṣẹ́ lọ́jọ́ ọjọ́ kan báwọn tẹ́jọ́ ṣiṣẹ́ ṣe ṣàṣelà ní ládì sọ́kan pé mákànmákàn ní Yorùbá sọ pé èè máa ń kan tó bá ti dúró wá dé nìyàn ṣálọ ní inú kan.
ìdíje là ń fẹ́rẹ̀ aláṣẹ ká tó dọ́lọ́lá ẹnìkan lè tó sílẹ̀ nǹkan ló díje ọlá díje pẹ̀lú ẹni tó fẹ́ tó nínú ẹni ìṣọ̀lá tó bá yege nínú ìdíje ọ̀hún ló tó dọ́lọ́lá.
akéwù wọn ló fẹ́ fi gègé ìṣòsì gègé ó bá kọ́kọ́ pọ́n akéyẹn náà kó tó fi gé lówe ládì tún lọ rorin wà ní ṣáláì gé kí sani kíkún fẹ́ ní òsáré ìje tó fẹ́ yege àìṣemẹ́lẹ́ nídìí iṣẹ́ ẹni ló mú ní yege àwọn tó wo yẹn tí wọ́n ti là tí wọ́n sì tún yege wọ́n ti fìgbà kan ṣiṣẹ́ kára ló mú wọn yege ọlá pé wọ́n ti sáré ìje ló sọ wọ́n doge ìwọ náà sáré àti là sáré àti yege káwọn rẹ̀ ò lè tẹ̀kù ìdá kó tún lè yege.
ìdíje là ń fẹ́rẹ̀ aláṣẹ ká tó dọ́lọ́lá ẹnìkan lè tó sílẹ̀ nǹkan ló díje ọlá díje pẹ̀lú ẹni tó fẹ́ tó nínú ẹni ìṣọ̀lá tó bá yege nínú ìdíje ọ̀hún ló tó dọ́lọ́lá.
mo ráwọn kan já sọ́nà àti làtàn láwọn fẹ́ ga. mo ráwọn kan já sọ́nà àti làtàn láwọn fẹ́ ga nítorí àti láti dọ̀lọ́ làwọn fi ga gbàgà. mo wá wò pé ṣòun tó yẹ ní nítorí àti ga ṣọ́nà àti là ló wá dògùn tán fi ga gbàgà. ibẹ̀ mo ti rẹ́ni làmí lọ ẹ̀pọ̀ náà àti ga ó lè kó rọrùn wọn ló tó ká fi ga gbàgà ká fi ga gbàgà pẹ̀lú ẹni tí ga ló ń gbé ẹ̀ dáadáa. ìjàdù ipò lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ ẹ̀ tó dẹ́kun gíga ẹni bá fẹ́ làkọlù láyé tó sì fẹ́ ga ẹsẹ̀ àgùn akọ̀tìrìn kó tó di ipò ga iṣẹ́ kékeré kọ́ lọ́nà àti là báwọn díje gíga.
ìdíje là ń fẹ́rẹ̀ aláṣẹ ká tó dọ́lọ́lá ẹnìkan lè tó sílẹ̀ nǹkan ló díje ọlá díje pẹ̀lú ẹni tó fẹ́ tó nínú ẹni ìṣọ̀lá tó bá yege nínú ìdíje ọ̀hún ló tó dọ́lọ́lá.
àwọn tó lọ́lá ò ní fẹ́ ká lómi yóò la. àwọn tó lọ́lá ò ní fẹ́ ká lómi yóò la. wọ́n ní fẹ́ kí tàlà kùtà òde kò wọ́lá. ìwọ ní kọjá fitafita kò fẹ́ dọ́lọ́lá. kún fún yànjú pẹ̀lú àdúrà ní ìrìnàjò àti làwọn. ẹni tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ lójú àmì àṣìlẹ̀kùn ọ̀la. Gbogbo iṣẹ́ tó ti ṣe sẹ́yìn àwájá sọ́lá. Bọ́lá ní tó ń bò kó lè bá nínú ọlọ́lá. Ìdíje bẹ̀rẹ̀ kò yá sáré kò dùpò ọ̀la. Kíkan olè ẹ máa léwu kan fi díje ọ̀la. Kò díje pẹ̀lú ẹni tó fẹ́ tó nínú ẹni tìlà. Tó bá yege nínú ìdíje ọ̀hún ló bá dọ̀ọ́lọ́lá.
Ìdíje là ń fẹ́rẹ̀ aláṣẹ ká tó dọ̀ọ́lọ́lá. Ẹnìkan lè tó sílẹ̀ nǹkan ló díje ọ̀la.
Ló ń díje ọ̀la
tó fẹ́ tó
nínú ẹni tìlà.
Tó bá yege nínú ìdíje ọ̀hún ló tó dọ̀ọ́lọ́lá.
Kí ni ìwúrí ẹlẹ́wọ̀n tó ṣaago mọ́wọ́?
When booking a trip, you might be thinking to yourself, what else could possibly go wrong?
Tí ọ̀wá máa kókò tó máa mórí bọ́, kò wúlò fún bó ti wù kó rí. Lọ́rọ̀ alágbára máa ní àrògùn tó jẹ́ pé kò bá lẹ̀ kò bá kúkú yá.
Kí ni ìwúrí ẹlẹ́wọ̀n tó ṣaago mọ́wọ́? Tí ọ̀wá máa kókò tó máa mórí bọ́, kò wúlò fún bó ti wù kó rí. Lọ́rọ̀ alágbára máa ní àrògùn tó jẹ́ pé kò bá lẹ̀ kò bá kúkú yá.
Gbogbo ọmọ lọ́wọ́ kan lọ́gùn mo ní agbára. Gbogbo ọmọ lọ́wọ́ kan lọ́gùn mo ní agbára. Orí àpèsè mi wọ́n wá rí fún mi. Kò sí bí mo rọ́wọ́ tí ò lọ mo ní ọ̀la gan. Kò wúlò tí ò bá sẹ́nìkan tó tààrà ẹ lọ́la. Kan fàyàn sókè kò ní pínkọ́lá ẹ ó relẹ̀. Kò sì ní kọ́wọ́ ẹ ó dínkù jọ̀wọ́ má ṣàwọn. Wúlò fẹ́ bí pẹ̀lú ara wúlò fún wọn rẹ̀. Kọ́ wá bá ẹ fúnra lọ́wọ́ ṣe wọ́n tó bá lè ṣe. Máyà ni tó lówó tí ó wúlò fàyè o. Máyà ni tó lówó tí ó wúlò fàyè o. Tó jẹ́ pé ó bá má ní kò bá kúkú yá.
Kí ni ìwúrí ẹlẹ́wọ̀n tó ṣaago mọ́wọ́?
Ṣaago mọ́wọ́.
Tí ọ̀wá máa kókò tó máa mórí bọ́. Kò wúlò fún bó ti wù kó rí. Ọ̀rọ̀ alágbára máa ní àrògùn
Tó lárò
kò bá lẹ̀ kò bá kúkú yá.
Ẹ̀tẹ́tẹ́ gbọ́sàn bàbá onílé gogoro. Ológun wọn mẹ́kọ̀ọ́ mẹ́wé tó ń jẹ o. Gbogbo olú ló ti mọ̀ pálábùrú ni. Kò sẹ́ni tó tó bẹ́ẹ̀ tó fọwọ́ padà ẹ̀ lójú. Ohun tó bá ṣe àṣegbé ṣáni. Ó gbàgbọ́ lọ́hùn wọn bá lágbára. Lọ́jọ́ kan ó fẹ́ ṣèbí ló bá ṣe ra ẹ̀ o. Àṣebí ṣe ra ẹ̀ tán kò rọ́nà àbáyọ. Wọ́n bá dá lágbára máa nírègùn o. Tó ṣe pé kò bá yọlẹ̀ kò bá kúkú yá. Wọ́n tún mọ́ kan wá lóhùn kan lọ́hùn ni. Àmódínú sírísù ẹ̀mí à ń bá wa lọ.
Kí ni ìwúrí ẹlẹ́wọ̀n tó ṣaago mọ́wọ́? Tí ọ̀wá máa kókò tó máa mórí bọ́. Kò wúlò fún bó ti wù kó rí. Lọ́rọ̀ alágbára máa ní àrògùn tó jẹ́ pé kò bá lẹ̀ kò bá kúkú yá.
Ó yá kádàrá mi ò dé.
Orin kíkọ ni mo yan lọ́tọ̀run.
Kádàrá mi ò dé o.
Orin kíkọ ni mo yan lọ́tọ̀run.
Ìpín mi tí mo yàn wáyé.
Orin kíkọ ló jẹ́ kí n dórí mọ́.
Ó rọ̀ mí lọ́rùn àmì náà.
Orin kíkọ kì í sùn mí nígbà kan.
Lórí rìn lórí ìjókòó.
Ọ̀kọ̀rọ̀ orin ó ń bẹ lọ́wọ́ mi.
Tẹ́gbẹ́ mi bá gbóhùn mi.
Wọ́n tẹríba fún pinna mísíkò.
Kí ni ń wo kúdùyé o?
Ó wà lọ́hùn lóde lóde o.
Adé orí mi àmì náà.
Òjò tẹnikẹ́ni nínú ilé orin.
Mo mọ ojú sókun orin.
Àtìtú rẹ̀ ó yẹ mi yéké o.
Ó ti á ilẹ̀ pẹpẹ.
Ẹ tẹríba fún pinna mísíkò.
Ó yẹ gbóhùn sókè tẹ́ sọ pé.
Pinna music kí máa máa pẹ́ o.
Ẹ gbóhùn sókè tẹ́ sọ pé.
Pinna music kí máa máa pẹ́ o.
Ó yá rọra sọ̀rọ̀ mi lójú àwọn tó fẹ́ mi. Tó bá pọ́n mi lé, wọ́n ṣe àpọ́nlé fún ẹ. Tó bá pẹ̀gàn mi, wọ́n tàbùkù fún ẹ. Ẹnìkan mọ̀ṣẹ́ lójú wọn jà mí náà lọ. Gbogbo olólùfẹ́ wa àdúpẹ́ ṣe o.
Ọ̀rọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ mi lójú àwọn tó fẹ́ mi. Tó bá pọ́n mi lé, wọ́n ṣàpọ́nlé fún ẹ. Tó bá pẹ̀gàn mi, wọ́n tàbùkù fún ẹ. Ẹnìkan mọ̀ṣẹ́ lójú wọn jù àmì náà lọ. Gbogbo olólùfẹ́ wa àdúpẹ́ ṣe o.
Àmì náà ògùn kan ọlọ́run lọ́kùn mi. Orí ọ̀fẹ́ ọlọ́run mọ́ kúrì gbà. Aráyé ń fẹ́ràn ọlọ́run lára mi. Gbogbo ohun tí mo bá kọ jáde ní orin. Aráyé bá mi gbọ́ tó bá kọrin tí ó pàlùjọ wọlé o.
ṣọlẹ́jọ́.
Tí bá kọrin tó pàlùjọ wọlé o.
ṣọlẹ́jọ́.
Tó bá dàlùjọ tí tó bá di díje o.
ṣọlẹ́jọ́.
Tó bá náwó ẹni tí para wọn láyò o.
ṣọlẹ́jọ́.
Dèrèdèrè àlùjọ yá bẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ o.
yọ̀kọ̀tọ̀.
Eré dàlùjọ ijó ti di díje o.
yọ̀kọ̀tọ̀.
Ó yá báyìí là ń jó.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Àní báyìí là ń jó.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Kọ́kọ́kọ́ máa mi sọ́tún sósì.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Tó bá ti kára dìde nílẹ̀.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Kẹsẹ̀ rẹ méjèèjì kó máa mì.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Tíjó bá díjó lọ́balọ́ba.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Táwọn lọ́balọ́ba fẹ́ jíjó mi.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Wọ́n máa yá gbádà sọ́tún sósì.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Wájú rùkẹ̀rẹ̀ lókèlókè.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Tíjó bá díjó lóyè lóyè.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Táwọn olóyè fẹ́ jíjó mi.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Wọ́n mẹ́tì bùbá.
owe more than £6,000 in debt. You.
Àwọn sí máa mi.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Àwọn alákọ̀wé tọwọ́ sùn.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Tọ́ bá fẹ́ jíjó. Tún sósì.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Táwọn boys pẹ̀lú àwọn lady.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Tọ́ bá fẹ́ jíjó queen of music.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Má fapá ijó fẹsẹ̀ jó.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Má fi gbogbo ara jíjó mi o.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Ijó tiwa kò bẹ́sìn jẹ́
báyìí
o.
la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Orin ajínigbé lórí Aminatu.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Ìlú wa sì ń fọ́ lóṣù náà.
báyìí la gbé jọ Àmínà.
Bóyá àwọn tajú lè kú yàtọ̀ sáwọn lọ́bẹ̀ ẹgbà. Tí n bá wá délé tí n bá bá Amina mo jẹ̀bẹ̀. Tí n bá rí lágbo ẹrù ọkàn mi máa balẹ̀ o. Pákó tí yóò wá kún.
Tájọ́lé kú yàtọ̀ sáwọn lọ́bẹ̀ ẹgbà. tí bá wá délé tí bàbá Àmínà mo jẹ̀bẹ̀. tí bá rí lágbo ẹrù ọkàn mi máa balẹ̀. pápó tí ó wá kún.
Ta ló mọ tajú eléku àmọ́lí ọ̀rẹ́ àpèsè. Kékeré náà ti lọ́la pínísí náà ti ṣe bí ọba. Tọ́rọ́ lọ́hún dá lọ́la ìrọ́jú kò tó ná. Bó ṣe náwó lówó ń dé lọ́la ẹ̀ ń pọ̀. Àṣekánáwó òpin tán ó mẹ́bí máa ra ẹ̀. Wọ́n lójú àánú ní tájú wọ́n tún lè ṣe fẹ́ bí. Wọ́n fi lé àwọn ṣèyàn gan. Mo rán lọ́wọ́ bí tájú àmẹ́ni tún lè nà kọ́. Náwó náwó làwọn mọ̀ àṣírí ọ̀la ẹ̀ tájú onítùmọ̀ àná lọ. Torí àdùn níyà ẹrù mi yàtọ̀ sí fúlà. Ọwọ́ fún ní tájú eléku lókè ló ń gbé.
Tájọ́lé kú yàtọ̀ sáwọn lọ́bẹ̀ ẹgbà. tí bá wá délé tí bàbá Àmínà mo jẹ̀bẹ̀. tí bá rí lágbo ẹrù ọkàn mi máa balẹ̀. pápó tí ó wá kún.
Tó bá ti yé máa fún mi kí ni wọ́n yẹ kí ẹ fún. Kódà bó fún mi lóore tó ní má jẹ́ nìkan gbọ́. Wọ́n ní yálà ìmoore wọ́n fi dúpẹ́ sẹ̀sán rẹ̀. Ayọ̀ ní ẹ̀rọ̀yìn ẹ̀dá tó bá ti yé máa ṣoore. Tọ́rọ́ rẹ̀ lóore ń wọ̀tọ̀ ló bá yá lábòsí ẹni. Tó ní ti tajú báwo ọ̀dẹ ní ẹ̀ àkùrí. Ẹni ò mọ tájú mẹ́ni re. Orí rẹ̀ ẹ̀dí kan òun náà kì í ṣẹni re. Torẹ́ ni rẹ̀ mi èèyàn re. Ajíbọ́lá Ìṣọ̀lá tájú eléku èèyàn re ni.
Tájọ́lé kú yàtọ̀ sáwọn lọ́bẹ̀ ẹgbà. tí bá wá délé tí bàbá Àmínà mo jẹ̀bẹ̀. tí bá rí lágbo ẹrù ọkàn mi máa balẹ̀.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. A'udzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. We welcome you all today in the name of Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All our mothers, sisters, we welcome you all in the name of Allah. Once again, personally, I feel highly honored and so happy that we are able to come together today after more than a year break in our Sisters Forum activities. Allah reward every one of us with the best of rewards, both here and in the hereafter. Allahumma ameen. Without wasting personally, it is only Allah that can reward us all, and we can only ask Him not to forsake us the reward therein of all our good deeds. Most of us, especially our women, we all have our careers Monday to Friday. We've been busy, and today is Saturday. We got loads of activities here and there, most of which I am aware of. But despite that, we put this time aside to come together for the sake of nothing but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah reward every one of us. Allahumma ameen. So inshallah, we call on one of our mothers in the forum to lead us in the opening prayer, inshallah rahman. That's in the person of Sayyidah Aisha, inshallah, Muhammad al-Hawal. Kindly unmute. So after that, we have Alaja Nemat Adefioye Haja Idera, please. You're gonna do a short recitation from the Quran for us, madam, inshallah, if you don't mind. After that, we move to Alaja Bomi Abdurrahuf, who will take us through Musabiat al-Hashar before we now enter into the talk of today proper. We welcome Mrs. Adesira. You're most welcome. We specifically welcome her mother, Sayyidah Rafat Hassan. If I'm not mistaken, I want to believe that's my mother there. We'll come back to her, inshallah. Welcome once again, everybody. So, Bismillah, ma'am. You're still muted.
Minash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim ghayril maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad al-Fatih wa ma ulika wa li asin min sabaq. Nasrul haqi bil haqi wa la adira siratal mustaqim wa la alihi. May Allah accept our thanks. We thank you for, oh Allah, we thank you for the air we breathe in, the fact that we've woken up this morning. We give you grace and honor. We give you all adoration. We ask for forgiveness of sins, and may Allah, in His infinite mercies, guide us, protect us, and be with us throughout this program. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad al-Fatih wa ma ulika wa li asin min sabaq. Nasrul haqi bil haqi wa la adira siratal mustaqim wa ala alihi haqqa qadrihi. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Bismillah. Sayyidah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. We thank our mother for that beautiful short prayer. May Allah accept it more than we have done. Allahumma ameen. Next, we move to recitation, short recitation from the Quran. If we have Hajia Hamdallah there, please unmute. If not, do we have Hajia Idera, please? Kindly unmute. Short recitation from the Quran, madam.
A'udhu billahi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I'm really sorry. I was actually in the car really, but okay. It might be okay. I won't be able to put on the camera because I'm in the car. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Aliyata alal insan Inun minon darin lam yakun shay'an madhkuran.
You are muted, Hajia. You are muted, Alaja. Haji Animat, you are muted. Right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am not sure what's gone wrong with that. So, inshallah, we call on Ajia Shakira. Ajia Shakira. If Ajia Shakira can give us a short recitation from Quran, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Halan.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim.
Oh, sorry, I don't know what's going on. Assalamu alaikum. I think it's my internet. I'm really sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. I'm really sorry. I think it's my internet. I'm not at home. Sorry about that. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ar-Rahman. Allama al-Quran. Khalaqa al-insan. Allama al-bayan. Ash-shamsu wal-qamaru bihsiban. Wan-najmu wash-shajaru yasjudan. Was-samaa'a rafa'aha wa wadda'a al-mizan. Ala tutghaw fil mizan. Wa aqimul wazna bil qisti wa la tusirul mizan. Wal arda wada'aha lil anam. Fiha fakihatun wa na'lisatul akmal. Wal hubbu sali wasfi wa raihan. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ صدق الله مولانا العظيم وبلغ رسوله الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين. السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. Shukran jazilan, Haji Animatullah Idera. We really appreciate that beautiful recitation from the Holy Quran. May Allah accept it from you and all of us as an act of ibadah. Allahumma ameen.
Amin, amin, ya Allah.
Thank you so much. So we move to one of our mothers, Alaja Bumi Abdurrahuf, who will take us through Musabiat al-Hashar, inshallah. So, Labarolong, Yawa lead you and Musabiat al-Hashar, so that we can go into the business of the day proper, inshallah. Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Hauzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Can we all say the niyyah together, inshallah? Allahumma hini nawaitu anta karuba ilayka bitilawati musabihatul hashara biniyati tabuda lillahi ta'ala wa biniyati tazuni biha wa biniyati tazili jamihi malaha min al-khawahidi wal khahirati wal kharihati wal barakati wal futuhati fid dunya wal khahirati innaka ala kulli shay'in qadir. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul a'udzu birabbin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas, min syarril waswasil khannas, alladzi yuwaswisu fi sudurin nas minal jinnati wan nas. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul a'udzu birabbil falaq min syarri ma khalaq wa min syarri ghasikin idza waqab wa min syarri nafasati fil 'uqad min syarri hasidin idza hasada. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun la a'budu ma ta'budun wa la antum habiduna ma a'bud wa la ana habiduna ma abadtum wa la antum habiduna ma a'budu lakum dinukum waliya din. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum la ta'khudhuhu sinatun wa la nawm lahu ma fi samawati wa ma fil ardi man zal ladzi yashfa'u 'indahu illa bi'iznihi wa ma khalfahum wa la yuhituna bi shay'in min ilmihi illa bima sha'a wasi'a kursiyyuhu samawati wal ardi la ya'uduhu hifdhuhuma wa huwal 'aliyyul 'azim. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahil 'aliyyil 'azim. Adada ma halima wa minha ma halima wa sinata ma halima. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad abudika wa nabiyyika wa rasulika nabiyyi ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. Allahumma ghfirli wali daya wali mu'minina wali mu'minati wali muslimina wali muslimati ala hayyi wali amwati. Allahumma ifwali bihim wa bihim ajilan wa ajilan fi dini wa dunya wal akhirati wa anta lahu halu wa la tafwalu bina wa bihim ya maulana mananu lahu halu innaka ghafurun alimun jawadun karimun raufur rahim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin Nabi. Adada man salli alayhi hawlikika wa salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin Nabi. Kama yambagi lana nusalli alayhi wa salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin Nabi. Kama uritana nusalli alayhi. Allahumma maghfiratuka uzanu min zunubi wa rahmatika rijdan amali. La ilaha illallah wallahu akbar. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu. La ilaha illallah lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu. La ilaha illallah wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahil aliyyil azim. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu wa anna Isa alayhi salam abdullahi wa rasuluhu wa bunu al-matihi wa kalimatuhu wa liqa'ila marham wa ruhu minhu wa la lijannata haqqu wa la nara haqqu. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Min ma halima wa dada ma halima wa sinata ma halima. La ilaha illallah ya dafi'u ya mani'u ya fisu ya hakim. Subhanaka Allahumma ya man yasara jamila wa satara liqabiya وستلق بها ولا همك الألف جريرة ولم يتك سترا ويا سم العفو ويا سنة تجاوز ويا واسع المغفرة ويا بسطن برام ويا سميع كل نجوى ويا متع كل شكوى ويا كريم الصفو ويا سمن ماني ويا مكلال السيارة ويا متدى بنيام قبل استقاقيا يا ربي ويا سيدي ويا مولاي ويا جاءت رغبة أسألك ألا تشاوي كلكة ببلاء الدنيا ولا بأسيابنا اللهم إني أسألك خير مسألتي وخير دعائي وخير نجاحي وخير العمل وخير ثوابي وخير الحياة وخير مماتي وتبتني وتكلي موازيني وحقيقي ماني ورفع درجاتي وتقبل الصلاة وغفر حياتي وأسألك درجات العلى من الجنة آمين اللهم إني أسألك فواتح الخير وخواتمه وجوامعه وحاوله وظاهره وظاهره وباطنه وأسألك درجات العلى من الجنة آمين اللهم إني أسألك خير ما آتي وخير ما أفعل وخير ما أعمل وخير ما أبطن وخير ما أسأل وأسألك درجات العلى من الجنة آمين اللهم إني أسألك اللهم إني أسألك أن تعرف ذكري وتضع وزري وتسل أمري وتطهر قلبي وتحسن فرجي وتنور قلبي وتغفر ذنبي وأسألك درجات العلى من الجنة آمين اللهم إني أسألك أن تبارك لي في سمعي وفي بصري وفي روحي وفي حلقي وفي هلكي وفي أهلي وفي ماياي وفي عملي وتقبل حسناتي وأسألك درجات العلى من الجنة آمين. اللهم بنورك اهتديت وبفضلك استعنت وبأصحبت وممسيت ذنوبي كثيرة بين يديك أستغفرك اللهم وهوت بإليك يا حنان يا منان وأسألك همنا والهمنة بزوال إيماني والعفو وهمن مدوها وكان برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين يا أرحم الراحمين يا أرحم الراحمين يا رباه يا رباه يا رباه يا جبار 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 اللهم إني أعوذ بك من شر فديتني وظلمات عينيني وهم الفقير وديني حرمات جايد الحسين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد على آله وصحبه وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Amen.
Okay. No. Okay, I cannot talk now. I'm not hearing them again.
Amen. I've finished. Sayyidah, I'm done.
Subhanallah, I'm so sorry. Anyway, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We thank our mother for that beautiful musabia. May Allah continue to reward you for us. May Allah continue to preserve you for His deen. Bijai la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallam. Shukran jazilan. So while I am searching for our Sayidah Zinat, I will call on Haji Anurat. Haji zikir, inshallah. So we listen to some qasida and a zikiri from our beautiful sister, Haji Anura. Bismillah.
Wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Tabarakal ladzi biyadihi al-mulku wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. Ala la ilaha illallah wa ala la ilaha illallah wa ala Muhammaduna Rasul Muhammaduna Rasulah Tabarakaman ta'ala fi ulahu Yakulu lehabo de fatilobuni tejidini. Can you hear me please? Can you?
Yes, loud and clear. Bismillah.
Ta'ala fi ulahu Tabarakaman ta'ala fi ulahu Yakulu lehabo de fatilobuni tejidini. Bismillahi fatilobuni tejidini. Analematilobe fatilobuni tejidini. Analematilobe fatilobuni tejidini. Tabarakama ta'ala fi ulao. Yakulu le abode fatilobuni tejidini. Atarifu malao isimi kabi isimi. Anawa dodo fatilobuni tejidini. Anarahamano fatilobuni tejidini. Tabarakama ta'ala fi ulao. Yakulu le abode fatilobuni tejidini. Izama shita fi daraini tesiyat. Fakasir bisolati ala Muhammadin. Fakasir bisolati ala Muhammadin. Tabarakama ta'ala fi ulao. Yakulu le abode fatilobuni tejidini. Wa inso laita fabugela ajirofia. Wa shafi bi solati ala Muhammadin. Wa shafi bi solati ala Muhammadin. Fala sawmu yasihu wala salatun. Liman taraka salata ala Muhammadin. Liman taraka salata ala Muhammadin. Wa filuka kullahu kiba wa khairan. Isa sallaita fi ala Muhammadin. Isa sallaita fi ala Muhammadin. Wa kun fi al-layli wadi'illaha wargab lirabbika bisolati ala Muhammadin. Lirabbika bisolati ala Muhammadin. فعجل بالمطاب على عبيد توصل بصلاة على محمد توصل بصلاة على محمد فما الخيرات والبركات إلا فما الخيرات والبركات إلا جميعا بالصلاة على محمد جميعا بالصلاة على محمد رسول الله حقا تبعنا وآمنا وصدقنا محمد وآمنا وصدقنا محمد وفي يوم الحساب حساب عيسنا وفي يوم الحساب حساب عيسنا نؤمن بالصلاة على محمد نؤمن بالصلاة على محمد وتدخلوا الجنة لا موت فيها وتدخلوا الجنة لا موت فيها بما قدمت من ذكر محمد بما قدمت من ذكر محمد وتنعم بالنعيم وحورهن وتنعم بالنعيم وحورهن بدار جارنا فيها محمد بدار جارنا فيها محمد وتعمدهم وتشكرهم كثيرا وتعمدهم وتشكرهم كثيرا على فضل صلاة على محمد على فضل صلاة على محمد رسول أبو طهي هاشمي رسول أبو طهي هاشمي شفيع المذنبين غدا محمد شفيع المذنبين غدا محمد فهذا كله من فضل ربي أدانا بالصلاة على محمد أدانا بالصلاة على محمد رسول أبو طهي هاشمي شفيع المذنبين غدا محمد شفيع المذنبين غدا محمد سلام طيب أرج بهيج سلام طيب أرج بهيج على المختار سيدنا محمد على المختار سيدنا محمد على لا إله إلا الله والله محمدنا رسولا تبارك وتعالى في علاه يقول لعبد فاتلبني تجدني يقول لعبد فاتلبني تجدني اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله سيدنا محمد وسلم. Alhamdulillah, I'm done. Sayyidah.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. That was a beautiful one, mashallah. I remember that voice from when we were in our 20s.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, when we were still instance. Táàtì mọ inú ilé wo la fẹ́ hẹ́ndì sí bá ṣe ń kóra wa kiri nìyẹn lẹ́yìn àwọn ìyá wa ìyá àlùbáríkà ìyá àdùnnú àwọn náà wà níbi I'm gonna call Ernest wò láti àṣeyíká Alhaja Rafat Hassan Muhammad Al-Hawal èmi àti Sayidah Nura tí agbóhùn wọn yìí lájọ máa ń lọ káàkiri òde Molid alhamdulillah òun náà mo ṣe fẹ́ wá pàdé àwọn ìyá wa inshallah alhamdulillah. So we'll be listening to our mommy, inshallah. While now, alhamdulillah. Tabatin woju ẹ ṣáà máa ṣàmì. Maulana Sheikh Islam là ń wò ní kalẹ̀ yìí. Alhaj Muqaddam Muhammad Al-Awwal radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Yes ma, ìjókòó tẹ̀ní, ìjókòó ọpẹ́ ni fún yín mà, torí pé ẹ̀yin lẹ lè ní. In fact,
thank you.
ẹ̀yin la wá pàdé.
Sure, I can continue the way. I should just leave it like anything I want to do. I should go to more.
You can mute.
Okay.
I will call you later
okay.
to do more zikr because that's what our mother love most. Ìjókòó àwọn obìnrin lélẹ̀, and we want to be happy. Oríṣiríṣi depression ló wà nínú ayé. Àmọ́ Ọlọ́run ò jẹ́ káwa nípìn bẹ́ẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bíi pé gbogbo àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ àti títọ́ tí àwọn ìyá wa Mọ̀lá àti Sayyidah Rahmatullah Muhammad Al-Awwal tí wọ́n fún wa. So we will listen to our mother while we await Sayidah Zinat, inshallah. This is a blessed way and the most beautiful way to begin this occasion. So, ìyá wa tí a ti ń ròyìn fún wa lélẹ́yìí, Sheikha Rafat Hassan Muhammad Al-Awwal. Yes, ma, co-host ni yóò yẹ kẹ́lẹ̀ on mute, ma. Quickly, before our mother begins, I think I want to be sure that Sayidah Zinat is the one using Casa gadgets. Okay, so that I can make her co-host as well, inshallah. So we welcome our mother with that zikr, inshallah. Bismillah, ma.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all of us on the program. صلوا على النبي الكريم
صلى الله عليه وسلم.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. التكبير الله أكبر. الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله دانا علينا ودانا للإسلام. Alhamdulillah la kulli hal. I'm happy to be with you on this program this morning, and we give special thanks to Almighty Allah from where we are at this moment and to where we will continue our journey in this life. And we pray that all this that we are doing now will be a blessing to us in the year after. I especially want to thank Hamdallah for what she's doing. She's been a daughter from over 20-something years away from now. And she has been doing what she's doing. And alhamdulillah, she's improving on it every day. She started this back from when she was in the university, at Lagos State University. And she has always been with me all the while. And I thank God for where you are now. And I'm sure you are still going further than this on Deen Islam. And I pray all of us will go further than this on Deen Islam. I'm also using this opportunity to welcome my darling daughter, the special guest for today, Sayidah Zinat Kalejaiye. God bless you and God reward you for all you are doing. All that I know is that for anybody serving Almighty Allah, we are not doing it in vain at all. For everything we do is being recorded, and we are always the benefactor. In the Holy Quran, there is a place where God said, Auzubillahi minash shaitani rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allazina amanu wa tatma'innu qulubuhum bi zikrillah. Hala bi zikrillah tatma'innu qulub. That is, those who sincerely believe in Almighty Allah, and they have nothing doing rather than saying, La ilaha illallah. We are people of La ilaha illallah. We are people of La ilaha illallah. When we wake up in the morning, after our prayer, we do La ilaha illallah. Even in the night when we wake up, there is nothing we do than to glorify Almighty Allah. To those of us who do Wuridi, when in the morning, after all said and done, of course, we know the number of istighfar we do on a daily basis, the number of Salatul Fatih we do on a daily basis, and the number of La ilaha we do on a daily basis. All these things are rewarding. And at the end of that little verse that I've just read now, Allazina amanu wa tatma'innu qulubuhum bi zikrillah. Allah bi zikrillah tatma'innu qulub. He even said further that those who have peace of mind are the people of La ilaha illallah. We are not bothered because we know that for everything we do, we don't take a step without Almighty Allah knowing about this. And this is what has given us peace of mind. I'm so impressed by what I have started watching since the beginning of this program. The reading, the prayer, the reading of the Holy Quran, Musabi Asharat from the beginning to the end. And the President Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Mola yaseli waseli muda imoni habadan Allah habibika hayri aliki kulimi. There's nothing more beautiful than that. If not for Muhammad Rasulullah, I don't think there would be this world. God created the world because he wanted Rasulullah to come into being. And thank God that we are his followers. Thank God that we are doing what we are doing now. When that my sister was reading the Qasida, was doing zikiri, honestly, water was coming down from my eyes. Because when people praise Prophet Muhammad, my head swollen. We are people of La ilaha illallah and will continue to be. And we will be the benefactor, not even only here on earth, but in the hereafter. When we say, Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina azaban nar, it is a lot. Those people that will make heaven are those people that serves him here on earth. If you don't serve him here, how you rewarded when you get there? So when we say Rabbana atina fid dunya, whatever we do here on earth is what we will meet when we get there. So I appreciate all of you for what you are doing. God will continue to bless you. All the sisters on the forums, God will be with all of us. Our husband, our children back at home, Almighty Allah will be with us. And we thank God that despite all that was going in the world, the pandemic and everything, because I read at the beginning of your program that it was over a year that you gathered like this. God Almighty Allah will take all this away and we'll have free movement among ourselves. We'll be able to gather together to pray and do all other things. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk with you. God will be with all of us. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammadil Fatih al-Mubalik wa ala alihi wa sahbihi.
والسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين. Amen. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you. We are very, very happy and proud of you. Tabatiri yawa atira walu. Àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ kí a mọ̀ yìí pé Ọlọ́run yí nǹkan padà lára wa náà. Àmọ́ àwọn ẹni Ọlọ́run ò kí ń kú, wọ́n máa ń ṣípò padà ni. What do I mean by that? It's just that good people don't die. It's only transformation that happens. So one of those transformation, we can vividly see that in the life and the hayat of Sheikh al-Islam Alhaji Muqaddam Muhammad al-Hawal. You need to meet our mother in person. You will understand what I'm talking about the more. Long life, Ma. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Jazakillah khairan, Ma. So on this note, we use our mother to welcome our mother as well, Sayidah Zinat Kalejaiye. Permit me to say that these beautiful women are those who inspire my life. Yes, I can say that anywhere. Yeah, growing up in the hand and the arm of a caring, lovely, beautiful mother under the roof of Sheikh al-Islam Alhaji Muqaddam Muhammad al-Hawal. Then I entered LASU, and then I met Sayidah Zinat Kalejaiye. And then from home to home, away from home, and then I discovered if you want to have a beautiful life, just copy these beautiful women, then you have a beautiful life. So I am proud to say that I copied your life as a role model and I never regret my life. I am so proud of you and I'm proud of my life, what I have emulated from you. May Allah continue to bless you all and bless everyone. Bless all the beautiful women on this forum. May Allah continue to make all our lives beautiful, both here and in the hereafter. Allahumma ameen. So without wasting more of our time, we will ask Sayidah Zinat to please unmute herself and take over the program, inshallah. Bismillah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well, ma.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ilahi ilaka alhamdu fi dawazaka bidawuka narju ala hamrina manatali amani ala mantasha wa turimu ma shita alayhi zalimuna ala bika kana ma kana bigairi kalala wa sabi aulika ya haulana. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. All adoration belongs to Almighty Allah alone. Thank you so much, my sister, for having me. May Almighty Allah accept all our little efforts as an act of ibadah and crown it all with Al-Jannah to the Firdaus, the word you hear in this world and the hereafter. Yes, today's topic, we are going to talk about coping with challenges in marriage. I don't know whether we can even use 10 hours to discuss this topic, but just let me summarize everything. And I think before saying anything about marriage, I think it's a matter, it has to do with your personal determination. Yes. You have to have two things in mind. Do I really want to make it work? Am I ready to let go? By the time you have these two at the back of your mind, always, inshallah ta'ala, no matter what the challenge is, you definitely scale through. But before proceeding, let me say a big hi, the greatest salaam alaikum to our mother in the house, our Sheikha Harafat Al-Hawwal. May Almighty Allah continue to be with you. May Almighty Allah continue to spare you so that you can be with us and model us till eternity. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for the encouragement. And thank you so much for the honor. I'm highly honored. I'm happy to see you here again. Thank you so much, ma. Now, I do tell people that come for counseling that marriage is not all about having much time for the ceremonial aspect of it. But marriage is all about what do I want to make out of my home? That is number one. Do I want people to see me and emulate me? Or do I want it to be the other way around? But before saying anything, before going into the challenges, I want us to think of something. And let me just start, because people will say, the Quran is the one that changed us women. It's the Quran. No, it's the only Quran that liberated us. Wallahi. Islam liberated us. He gave us all the honor. He gave us all the responsibilities that will enable us to be a woman of Al-Jannah. Alhamdulillah on that. But we should not forget that if not for the advent of Islam, we are nowhere to be found. But after the advent of Islam, Islam brought freedom to us, honor to us, name it, anything that has to do with greatness. We gain everything through Islam. And because we gained everything through Islam, Allah has honored us by giving us one surah in the only Quran, which is Surah to Maryam. I know we have Surah to Yusuf, but we never have Surah to Nisa. It shows how powerful we are in sight of Allah, how reliable we are in sight of Allah, how honorable we are in sight of Allah. So if we know Allah has honored us, so we need to honor ourselves. Yes, before going into the challenges of marriage, I want us to digress a little bit on one or two, just 20 points, just 20 because of the time. When I say 20, then you now know whether when you face challenges, there is already solution to the problem or there is more to it. But before going into that, no matter what you are facing in your home, we should always have it at the back of our mind that Ar-Rijalu qawwamuna 'ala an-nisa'i bima faddala Allahu ba'dakum 'ala ba'din wa bima anfaqu. Yes, this is one of these ayats of the Holy Quran that our sisters are really complaining about. Is the Holy Quran that said, "Ar-rijalu qawwamuna 'ala an-nisa'i." Our husbands, our heads, they are our leaders, they are this, they are that. Yes, Islam said that. But he said, "What be more anfaqu," for whatever you spend on them. A responsible husband is what we are referring to. That even when your husband doesn't have all what it takes to be a good husband, that does not mean he doesn't deserve respect. He deserves a lot of respect, and that respect will stand as barakah for you in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you know Allah has said it in the Holy Quran, "Ar-rijalu qawwamuna." So the first thing you need to understand is that Allah said we should respect them. That is number one. And another ayah of the Holy Quran that said, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ أَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُم مَّوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. Allah said in the Holy Quran that وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ is part of my signs of Allah that I created you both male and female. And the creation is not meant for any purpose. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, so that you can be a source of tranquility, source of harmony, happiness, greatness. If that is not coming out in your marriage, then you've not fulfilled your duty, the reason behind getting yourself into a marital affairs. That is another ayah. And let me round up let me bring out another ayah by telling you that I think that should be in Surah At-Tahrim. I'm decided to say one or two ayahs because I know what we are facing now. The rate of divorce in the society today is really alarming, and it's something we really need to talk about. But because I know our sisters in Islam, our mothers in Islam kept saying, "Is the Quran that said it? Is the Quran that anchored us?" No, not in that way. Islam has even guided us more on how to be a successful housewife, how to be a reliable mother, how to be a responsible housewife. But by the time we have these three verses of the Holy Quran at the back of our mind, then you'll be able to work it out. Can I make it? Do I really want it to work out? Which I started with, and can I let go? Because you know you have a target. And let me tell you, no matter what the challenges, I was reading a book, if I can still remember the name, I will let you know before the end of the lecture. And it said, your challenges is not something that is bad. No matter what the challenges, it enables you to move forward, not backward. Because the more challenges in marriage, it increases the intimacy. I don't know whether I'm communicating. Let's look at anywhere in the country. If there is a flood or anything, eruption, anything, just name it, that damage the world today, even the so-called COVID we have, it has enlightened us more on how to use technology, and here we are today. If not for COVID, Zoom is nowhere to be found. So always see your challenges as a stepping stone to move forward in your relationship. So, and it enables you better to know your partner, even better than before. Because then you're okay, so this is coming from my husband, this is coming from my wife. Oh, then I need to have a second. It will result to bottled anger. Maybe the person doesn't want to talk or that. So let me use Quran, Surah At-Tahrim. وَبَعْدَ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ ضرب الله مثلا للذين آمنوا للذين كفروا امرأة نوح وامرأة لوط كانت تحت عبدين من عبادنا الصالحين فخانتهما فلم يغنياهما عنهما من الله شيئا وقيل ادخلوا النار مع الداخلين. Allah said in the Holy Quran, for those of you who doesn't want to believe in Allah, Imrat Nuhu, the wife cannot be Nuhu. And Nabi Nuhu is one of the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the wife is she's doing opposite. So if you want to emulate people of who doesn't want to seek the mercy of Allah, who want to be the other way around, I don't want to use bad words because we are not here to be negative, we are here to be positive. Then we need to copy the life of the wife, the life of the wife of Prophet Nuhu. And he said, because the end will be what? Hellfire. And he said, وَضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلًا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا امْرَأَةَ فِرْعَوْنَ. And for those of you, that's what I'm going to, those of you who believe in Allah, who want to maintain their homes, who want to let it go, who want to let it work, who married for the sake of Allah. And please, when I say for the sake of Allah, when Allah said, when the Prophet Muhammad said, "Tunka al-mar'atu al-arba li jamaliha wa maliha wa diniha wa isabiha fasbar bi zati din tarbati yanaka." Yes, he said we should consider 4 things before getting into marriage. Your final say before saying your final yes. Consider 4 things. And that 4 things is what? You consider the beauty, the family, the wealth, and the words, the religion. And he said you consider the religion most. But when you are considering those factors, don't forget that you need to work on your accountability health-wise. It's very, very important. Otherwise, you'll be having a problem in the marriage by bringing into this world children that they'll face a lot of health issues. You know what I mean by excess stuff. So I don't want to go into that. And Allah said, ضرب الله مثلا للذين آمنوا امرأة عمران التي أحسنت فرجها. The wife of Imran, Fir'aun, we all know he does not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. التي أحسنت فرجها فنفخنا فيه من روحنا. Sorry, Maryam, I'm still coming back to Maryam, because I really want to talk about that. للذين آمنوا فرعون إذا قالت ربي ابن لي عندك بيتا. Sorry, I skipped that. That the wife of Fir'aun, we all know the work of Fir'aun. And Allah gave him a believing woman, a responsible woman, a woman that loves Allah, that sees Allah in everything. And he said in the Holy Quran, for those of you who want to emulate the righteous woman, at least I have for you a good example. The wife of what? The wife of Fir'aun. He said, "Qalat Rabbi li indaka baytan fil jannati wa najini min fir'auna wa amali wa najini min al-qawmi adh-dhalimin." And he said, "Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please, I want you to build for me in Al-Jannah." If a woman, and you see, that is the reason why we have to be very careful when saying, okay, I want to go to the mosque and get a sister. I want to go to the the mosque and get a brother. I'm not saying the mosque is not the right place. Please don't get me wrong. But when you are doing that, please make sure you do it carefully. The wife of Fir'aun, she's not a Muslim, but she believes in Allah, and he believed in the prophets. He accepted him. And Nabi Musa, he treated him well, and he did a lot of things to do what? To make him realize his dreams. And that is why Allah said, no matter what the challenge is, she's asking for Al-Jannah while she's still alive from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the last one is why wa Maryama ibnat Imran allati ahsanat farjaha. We call him Maryam, the mother of Prophet Isa alayhi salam. Allati ahsanat farjaha. He did what? He protected his privacy. She protected his privacy. فَنَفَعَ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِنَا وَصَدَقْتَ بِكَلِمَاتِ رَبِّهَا وَكُتُبِهَا وَكَانَتْ مِنَ الْقَانِتِينَ. Allah said, it's one of the powers of women we have. Because she did what? She protected our what? Her privacy. And we did what? We gave her from our soul. That one is another topic for another day. What am I trying to point out? We have noble women in Islam that we can emulate. One of them is our mother that just talked to us now. Say Sheikh Harafa. We have a lot of them. In fact, I would say we are all honored to be here. But there is no way we won't have our shortcomings. I decided to mention these 3 verses of the Holy Quran. So no matter what the challenge is, we flash back and say to ourselves, I think I can make it, inshallah. If the wife of Pharaoh can make it, wallahi, I can make it. If Nabiya Maryam, despite all the challenges, no husband, she was tortured, she was called different names, and at the end of the day, today, we are still reading Surah to Maryam. And let me quickly chip in one thing for you. If you are having issues in your home, I'm sorry, Sheikha, to mention this. Please start reciting Surah to Maryam always. Inshallah, everything will come back to normality. Now, before going into the coping with challenges, I want us to go through 1 or 2 things, and which I call the most 20 things to be done before going into marriage. Number 1, you need to understand your partner before beginning any relationship. You need to understand your partner very, very well. Don't ever say yes out of pity. Don't ever say yes out of frustration. Number 2, marriage should be a source of joy. When I say joy, must be expecting challenges. Please, if you have any sister telling you, oh, in fact, I've never for once have any issue in my marriage, she's a liar. We are managing each other. There is no perfect home anywhere. There's no perfect marriage anywhere. Wallahi. It is able to work out because of the determination I mentioned earlier. Then number 3, you must be able to communicate openly to your partner and be ready to talk, please, before you say your final yes, because we don't need to look into the problems first. Let's see what we can do that will protect us from getting or having the challenges. So if we are able to work out this, it will be minimized. The mind will be prepared. It's because we are not prepared. We just thought, oh, marriage, interview, the period of courtship, you've turned into sex period, intercourse, instead of interview period. So the interview period when you are courting, either 6 months, either a year, either any time you decided, there's not beyond the boundary of Islam, you must make sure all these things are in place. Number 4, you must be on the same page with issues regarding sex. Talk about sex. Issues regarding money, parenting. Those must be done before saying your final years, before going into marriage. How do you like it? Yes, it's not something that we have to be ashamed of. No, and that's the problem we have. We don't want to talk about sex. Even public, we don't want to talk about sex. And it's the most important thing in any relationship. When you have the money and your husband is not where to be done on that, there will be problem. So sex, you need to talk about sex. Are you the kind of person that's like sex? Like sex? How do you want it? Do you like a foreplay? These are the things we need to know about marriage before going into marriage. No, we have to talk about it. Another one is issues regarding money. Okay, this is my salary. It depends on you. If you really want to talk about this, necessary. I think I want to be an asset because nobody is ready to marry a liability now. Everybody is looking for an asset. So talk about it. Okay, how do you want to assist you? How do you want me to assist you part of the responsibility in the house? Okay, let me take care of this. You talk even about your parents. You talk about it. Do you want our parents to come visiting or we don't like it? Discuss it. This must be done before marriage. Those are the things that lead to challenges in all marriages. Make sure you go for premarital counseling in order to learn more about your relationship. Very, very important. But what I realize now is that the other religions do it mostly. Even at their centers, they have it. So how many mosques now do we have a counseling center? No, it's a must before saying your final years. I remember the other time a couple they called me and said, okay, they want to get me, and they came visiting I think the parents paid for them. And before I realized a lot is still missing. And they just have 2 weeks to the wedding. Taking clothes all around. And I said, do you know you still need to learn a lot? And they said, okay, they will do that. I think they can get better. I said, no, you can't get better. You start now. And they came in for 2 sessions within that 2 weeks. So another thing is, you must learn how to communicate effectively, publicly. You know, I said it the other time, but this one publicly. You must have the manner to talk to your husband when something is getting wrong outside. Please, if you're in any relationship and you're afraid, I'm still coming back to that, to talk to your husband or to talk to your wife, it's better you quit that relationship. Number 7, conflict management skills is a must. And it's what we are going to treat today, because the topic is all about how do we manage our conflicts. If you really want to have a smooth relationship, good one, soft landing, then you must learn how to manage conflict successfully. Make sure you learn how to request in your relationship and how to complain. My sisters, my brothers, is very, very important. If it's necessary for you to do rehearsal before talking to your husband, before talking to your wife, please do that. Do it. Words, either it makes your home or mars it. It's very, very important. You have to be very, very careful. Your presentation, the way you talk, if you want to complain, at least do it in a very meaningful, a respectful manner. Then if you want to request, yes, it's your duty to have it, but don't forget that sometimes mood affects responses once in a while. So you have to work on that too. Don't have the mind that your spouse will complete you. I think we always have that mind that because Islam said, maybe the Prophet said, this fully iman something. I could not remember the hadith. Said my husband will complete me, my wife will complete me. No, it's not about that completion. It's what Islam is talking about. It's part of your religion, yes, accepted. But in terms of attitude, manners, you need to work towards it. Marriage is not something you just have to jump into. It's a life it's a university you will never graduate from. You will never graduate from it. So you have to plan for it, prepare for it, and be determined to let it work out. Make sure your expectations are realistic ones. Yes. I do tell my clients, I said, no matter what you are going through in your father's house, in your own home, don't come and compare your home with that of your husband. No. Live according to your husband's pocket. Live according to what is going to work for you in your home. What works for me in my home might not work for you in your home. Sometimes, there was a time I was talking to one of my clients, and I was like, okay, fine. Can you just say, that will be the last thing my husband wants me to do. So I gave her, you know, when we are counseling, we don't compulsory, we just advise. They are the one that will tell us, okay, this one will work out for me. Okay. And I gave her like 3 options. I think I've never tried the middle one. And she did. Alhamdulillah, today they are still together. So in any relationship, don't say, okay, my expectation is, I think I expect because me and my daddy do pet me in the morning. That's why I said, I'm still coming back to love languages. In fact, it's because of the time. We have a lot to talk about on this program. So make your expectation realistic. Your husband is earning like 100,000 naira, sorry, from us living in Nigeria. So your own money is pounds, if I'm not mistaken. And you expected him to drop like 70 for you at home. Yes, it might be possible, but it must be something you have put on the table to discuss. You have to be realistic in your expectations. Don't be selfish in your expectations. Also, avoid silent and unspoken expectations in your relationship. It brings unrealistic imaginations. Don't think for your husband. Don't think for your partner. Assumption is a great insight of Allah. Don't assume, talk out, speak out. By the time you talk out, you speak out, then you know what you have on ground. Conflict should not affect relationship. Yes, it is a red flag, but it will, if well managed, it will strengthen intimacy. Wallahi, when you have issues in your relationship that we are going to talk about now, it shouldn't be a problem. You just have to sit down and think back. I think something is wrong somewhere. And don't allow your challenges to move you away from your partner. Use it as a stepping stone to get closer to each other. Number 14, avoid destructive arguments. When I say destructive arguments, sometimes, you can get angry. We are human. We are not angels. We have our flaws. We have our shortcomings. We have something that hurts us. And we have sometimes that we just be happy. Yes, they need to appreciate us for that and accept us the way we are. But at the same time, we need to avoid arguments that are what? That are not constructive, that will affect our relationship, or that will lead to long-time issue. You should avoid it. When you are talking to your partner, you realize things are not getting as expected. Keep quiet for peace to reign. Respect other family members. We have series of cases. She always wants her family to be around. You see, sometimes when I was talking to a client, she always wants her family to be around. And the wife said, because your family always come and asking. But my family, they won't ask for more. And I said, you should just sit down together and sort this out. These are the things you're supposed to have discussed before your marriage. So respect other family's member. Due to your mother-in-law, what you want to be done to your own mother, don't do to them what you don't want to do to your own family. The same thing, it goes vice versa, even to the husband too. Let's make it work out like that. Another one is never use silence as a weapon in your marriage. Oh my God. I'm keeping quiet. I know what to do. It will backfire. Bottled anger will not take you to anywhere in your home. Marriage ceremony must be moderate. Make it easy. What we notice nowadays is we have large and very huge marriage ceremonies everywhere. No canceling. You see some marriage, some of them after 6 months, that will be the end. Some of them after 2 years, that will be the end. Because of what? They lack all this. They never thought of this before saying their final years, before picking a date. So let's make it minimal. But let's work more on the previous one, more points that I've mentioned earlier. Even if that's going to cost you to pay for somebody to do that for you, is a must. Never, this is very, very important, never stop to spark your marriage. Marriage never outgrow needs for romance. No matter what the age, even at your 60s, at your 70s, if you are still with you see, sometimes when I look at I opened my phone, I saw the husband is like 70 or 80, and the wife is like 80, 85. Sometimes the husband can be 90, the wife can be 80. I was like, oh my God. And they're sitting down together talking as if they just started. No matter what your age, always be prepared that, okay, my marriage, this is what I want in my marriage. 18th, learn to work on your temperament. Learn to work on your temperament. If you know that you are the one that gets angry easily, you can get angry, but don't stay in anger. Pray over it. Wallahi, there is nothing you can pray over that Allah will not work on it for you. If you get angry easily, no matter what the challenge is, just pray over it. You learn to work on your temperament, because this will assist you how to complain and how to ask for something. The 19th one is be prayerful. Be prayerful. With Allah, all things are possible. I could remember Rabiatul Adawi in one of our khutbah. Pardon me, my mother in the house and all our sheikhs in the house. That is one of our Rabiatul Adawiya's khutbah. When she mentioned, Ya Hilahi namatil uyun wa garat an-nujum wa anta Allahu hayyu qayyum la ta'udhu zinnatu wa la nawm galabat muluk wa abwabahum ababuka maftuhi lis-sa wa ana fakirun sahilun waqifun bi babika fala tatrudani bi babika innaka la kulli shay. That's the part I really loved most. He said, Ana fakirun, I'm here in front of you, Allah. I have nothing. I have not on the door of the richest people, the famous, the most humble, the most favorable. They did not answer me. They don't answer my call. They rejected my call. They muted my call. They blocked me on WhatsApp. Then now I'm in front of you, Allah. Fakirun. Wakifun bi babika. I don't have anything. Wakifun bi babika. I'm here in front of your door, Allah. Fala tetrudani min babika. Don't return me away back from your door, except when you have said yes to all my requests. May Almighty Allah say yes to all our requests. Be prayerful. Wallahi, the pillar behind every successful home is spirituality. You have to develop yourself spiritually. And number 20, which will now take us to today's topic, is work on these 3 things: communication, forgiveness, and perseverance. Wallahi, if you have those 3 things, no matter what the challenges you are facing in your home, you will scale through. Then when I mean forgiveness is not about just saying it. The bitter truth is, great marriage don't just happen, you have to plan for it. Wallahi, you plan, really planning, really working. And before going into any relationship, you must have the mind that I want to go and create peace in this home. I want to create more hope, happiness, and I'm ready to stay. You know, in the olden days, wallahi, sometimes, that's why I love our mothers in the olden days. When they are packing your what do they call it for you? They'll put a poundo stuff. They'll give you wardrobe. No wardrobe now. No, although, what do they call it? Nothing. So they'll put everything for you to tell you that you are going there. They will get you stood. We call it, the stood is called a poti then. You are going there to sit down for life till eternity. You are going there without wardrobe. You see, those things, it might be traditional sometimes, but it is sensible. It has a lot of meaning. So by the time they are telling you the meaning, you really appreciate it. You see, those things are very, very important. So when you are ready to let go in your relationship, then you won't have issues, because I can't start mentioning challenges you'll be facing. There's a lot of challenges. My own challenges might be different from your own. From A challenges of B might be different from B challenges. So no matter what the challenges, learn to forgive, learn to let go. Don't be the kind of person that hold grudges for a long time. And in 2016, do you know this is what you did? In 2020, you know this is what, and you started bringing out diary. Agree always. You must learn how to stand on something. Another thing is, don't run away from your partner. Yes, I'm trying to avoid him. Till when? I'm trying to avoid him. He's going to talk. She's going to communicate. Till when? Don't try. That's why I said, no matter what the case may be, I will be treating communication along with forgiveness. If you cannot talk, then there will be a problem in that marriage. You must be able to speak out your mind. Speak out. Don't die in silence. You need to speak out in your marriage for it to work out. So when there is, I don't tell my clients, is when you have issue in your home, settle it immediately. And I do tell some of them that I know that they have the capacity. If you have all the means, make sure you sleep on the same bed with your husband 24/7. Even when you have your own private room, turn it to be your wardrobe alone. Sleep with your husband, because there's no way you will not have arguments. So by the time you sleep together, there's no way you will not just call one other side. Then that will be the end of the issue. But by the time you are sleeping separately, there will be a problem. Do not be too busy to do your primary assignments. Forgiveness in marriage is very, very important. Learn to let go. Sometimes it's very painful, my sister. I know what I'm talking about. Very, very painful when you are dutiful, when you really know what you are doing, and you are seeing them doing, they are doing, giving you the other way around. Ask Allah, But you stick to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look, Jafi du'aika. Keep on calling Allah. Wallah, you will have last. So no matter what the challenges in your home, learn to let go. Learn to let go. And when I say challenges, forgiveness. Learn to apologize. We have good apology. And then a good apology is like is when you realize you've done something wrong and you apologize. Oh dear, sorry. I know I hurt you. I don't mean to say so. I'm very sorry. I don't really mean it. I'm sorry I upset you. And inshallah, next time it will never repeat itself again. And it will never repeat itself again. Must be genuine. Must be what? Must be genuine. So we have good apology. Also, we have bad apology. You know bad apology. That means that one is not remorseful. You don't realize what we've done. The good apology specifically acknowledge that you've done the wrong thing and you're ready to apologize. And no matter how big you are, even when you are older than your husband or your wife is pleased, the word sorry makes a home. Wallahi, I'm sorry. She'll in fact, she'll be very close to you. I was talking to one of my clients and the husband said, she has never for once said, I'm sorry. I said, She said, I don't even know. And when I asked, I said, I don't even know how to say it. I said, you need to study about it. So I gave her a book. Go and read that book. One of my books, I think I gave her, I have a small pamphlet, 109 wisdom capsule or marital bliss and stuff. Okay, go and read this. You see, sometimes forgiveness, the purpose of forgiveness is to give you the choice to have a different outcome. It's also to create inner peace, because when you let go, you sleep right, because those grudges are just killing you. Challenges will not bring anything good if not corrected on time. It also is a choice to let it go. You let go and you move on. Also, it has asked for reconciliation. Okay, I've done this. What do you think I can do? I'm sorry. But I'm sorry, dear. This is not possible for me. I can't do it. Just have to manage. Because don't you love me? It makes you move forward easier. It makes moving forward easier for you. Forgiveness can happen whether there is an apology or not. Sometimes there are couples now that are grown up that even when they forgive each other, they offended each other. They don't need to ask for forgiveness. Willingly, they'll just come back to normal. They've gone through a lot. So that stage is what we need to build ourselves to. Or I know me, one has gone. I've moved on. Let's move on. We have better things to do together. Telling your husband that, or you're hearing that from your husband, is an encouragement for you to keep quiet. It's an encouragement for you to change your manners. The other way around. I don't believe in the notion that we should be the one saying sorry. No. They should learn to say sorry too when they've done something wrong. Blood runs in our own veins too. We are human. We are human, so we need to work on it. Forgiveness is an individual intentional decision. When you ask for forgiveness and you do it willingly, you will know, and your partner will definitely know. So forgiveness is not a quick process. That is why we need to understand individual differences and family background. And this, I want to expatiate a little on it. I was talking to one of my clients one day, and the wife said, even when we argue on something and I try to sit him down and talk, says, I'm not used to this kind of life. I'm used to my mommy and daddy shouting always. They are changing me. And it's like, I'm feeling uncomfortable. And I said, okay, you need to work it out for him in a more romantic way. So what we did then was like, okay, if you have anything bother your mind, the first thing I asked her was that, let me know how is the romantic life is all about. He said, he doesn't joke with her. I said, okay, so how often do you meet? How often do you have sex? Said, she mentioned it. I said, okay, can you talk to him? I said, he's always calm when it's come to that. I said, okay, fine, use that one as a weapon now. So immediately they are done, and he was just massaging him. He was like, I'm sorry. And I said, okay. That means when you are seeking for forgiveness, make sure you look for the right mood to talk. Some people are like, okay, maybe I should, okay, today is you're supposed to have rice and biscuit. I know you have poundo. You love poundo. Can I make poundo? Poundo. Okay, I will manage it now. Manage poundo. So maybe after the poundo and the stuff, for you and all that, can talk to him. Sir, I'm sorry, I bought it yesterday. I don't mean it that way. I don't know. You know that poundo, I've settled everything. So don't just say because you don't want to beg, you do anything anyhow. Study your husband, your partners, not even your partner, your wives too. Study the right mood to talk to her or to talk to him. It's very, very important. So your forgiveness, it has to be what? Into, is that you do good for apology or bad apology? But I think the good one is good for our home. Lack of forgiveness in marriage can add to the end of relationship. And that is why we see rate of divorce in the society very, very alarming, very, very increasing on a daily basis. Forgiveness is an essential component of a healthy and loving marriage. It's very, very important. Making a decision not to go to the bad end is something you need to work on. When you don't forgive, it affects you emotionally, it affects you mentally, it affects you physically, and it affects everything about you. It affects everything about you. Everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. So forgiveness in marriage is one of the most important things to treat challenges in marriage. When you forgive, you have time to talk about it. Lastly is communication. Learn to speak. Learn to talk. Use the right approach. Use the right method. Communication is the key in all marriages. Wallahi. Learn to talk to your husband. Sayyidina Ali karamallahu wajhi bashashatul wajhi atiyatun stahila wa bushira lis-sa'ili. You need to learn to talk. We have communication. We have aggressive communication. We have assertive communication. We have passive communication, and we have passive-aggressive communication. So let me quickly take that and round up. When we said aggressive communication, is when you violate the rights of the others. It involves loud, demanding voice, maintaining intense eye, dominating opinion, controlling, blaming your partner and all that. That's aggressive. It will not enable you to solve any problem in your marriage, any challenges. And it's not going to work out when you use it. You always want to be the one to be right. You are always right. Another one is assertive communication. And I think assertive communication is the best communication in all marriages. The first one is that it's the kind of communication that enables you to think and consider your partner before doing anything. You make use of the word, I'm much more than you. I feel so sad to offend you. I'm sorry, I don't mean to hurt you. You understand? You consider your partner. That means you are not selfish when you are using assertive communication. It's again that you are the owner of your feelings, shows ownership of your behavior without putting blame on anybody. And I will employ all of us here today to use assertive communication. It allows everyone to express themselves and deep into it. And at the end of it, it gives room for you to explain yourself from your partner point of view. And at the end of the day, you come to a conclusive and a reliable, a sustainable, a laudable, let me use the word laudable because you consider Allah in everything you are doing. Then passive communication. This type of communication enables partner to act indifferently. Partners are not free to express themselves. You are afraid. You are afraid to talk out. No, it won't work out. It won't enable you to solve any problem in your marriage. Passive aggressive is the kind of communication that shows passive outwards. But within you, you are pretending. Don't pretend in your marriage. Be yourself. Don't allow anything to tamper with your self-esteem. It is very, very important. So if you are able to do all this, no matter what the challenges, and to crown it all is when you have Allah, you have everything. If you have any challenges in your home, you must know that Inna Allaha ma'as sabirin wal asri. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Perseverance is the last one. Learn to persevere. gbogbo àwọn ìyá wa tán dúró sílé ọkọ kò easy wallahi ojú wọn rí lójú wọn fi wọnú orí wọn pa nínú wọn fi pa níwájú tá fi rò bí nǹkan míì ni. So no matter what you are facing, if you think you are facing something today, wallahi some people have faced more than that. Alhamdulillah, they are still maintaining that hope. So have it at the back of your mind, inshallah, it's going to work out for me. This is my home. I'll face all the challenges because Allah will make it easy for you. And when you are prayerful, wallahi, you will have seen the sign. We are Sufi to the core. Let me put it that way. So said by my sister. So if you are really Sufi to the core, you will know when it's coming. And when it's coming, you will tell Allah, Allah, make it easy. I don't know the way it's going to come up with it. But no matter what the way, please make it easier for me. And inshallah, Allah will make it easy for every one of us. For those that are having one or two challenges in their home, may Almighty Allah continue to be with them. May Almighty Allah continue to be their guide and guide on how to do it successfully. I beg you in the name of Allah, no matter what the challenge, call upon Allah. He is always there to answer us, and we will never be among those who will be rejected. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة الأعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العظيم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليك السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, 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 Rabbil Alameen. Thank you so much for that beautiful one. Never disappointed, mashallah. Thank you. Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn Sayyidah wa tí wọ́n fún wa ní the beautiful lecture about how we can cope with challenges in our marriages. The obvious thing from that speech, there's no perfect marriage. Most of us, we make the mistake. Dandan ni ara gbọ́dọ̀ dẹ̀ mí, ara gbọ́dọ̀ tù mí, mi gbọ́dọ̀ rí nira, orí ò gbọ́dọ̀ fọ́ mi látàárọ̀ dálẹ́, a gbọ́dọ̀ jágbe mọ́ra wa, kódà àti ẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ jà lẹ́ẹ̀kan. So wọ́n ti jóye wa pé it's not possible because this life is not Jannah. This life is not paradise. So it's only in paradise that you don't have issues. It's only in paradise that you think about something and it happens. If you are going through anything, you don't like it, you have to work it out. You have to talk about it. You have to discuss it. You don't bottle it like, okay, I want to keep quiet and pretend as if everything is all right. So she's just told us that there's no harm in speaking, okay? Talk to your spouse. And I think from what I learned, from what she said, is most of us, we fall victim of not talking before marriage. So after marriages, we want to now make magic to happen. So many discussions, we have to make sure we initiate them before getting into the real marriage proper itself. Even Ojayawo Sarah, there would have been an opportunity or a time where you have this family meeting or where the both parties, they have, you know, a session together. Tí ẹ fi lè sọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n náà dẹ̀ lè béèrè kí ni gbogbo àwọn ìbéèrè wo ni ó wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ tí o fẹ́ béèrè àbí tó ń jó ẹ lẹ́mìí àbí tó ń jó ẹ lára àbí tí o wò pé kò yé ẹ. So most of these things is what we don't do. Some of us tí Ọlọ́run ní ká dàgbà sínú MSS ó sá sí wa lórí ìgbà mi wá ti wò pé wọ́n ti ní ká dákẹ́ kò jẹ́ ewúrẹ́ kò dẹ̀ jágùtàn. So many questions you just think they are not necessary. You don't have to ask. At the end of the day, when you start asking these questions, because the idea of shush, this is what we are used to, and this is not the best way. What I will just say is that we still have time to make things right. Don't train your girls or your boys in the way of shush and keep quiet when things are going wrong. Let us train and teach our children that it's okay to speak up. It's okay to ask questions in marriages. The marriage is not meant to be a prison yard. If you are feeling like you are in bondage or you are in prison in your marriage, then something is not right. Then something is, you need to do something about it. If you want to go down the prayer warrior level, speak to people who know more than you. Ask for guidance. you will get it, inshallah. So now we will be expecting some questions and answers. If you have questions, please raise up your hand so that we can allow you to unmute yourself, because only the co-host can unmute themselves. While we are awaiting people to signify their intention about questions, and we will take a brief contributions later, we go to our mother, Mrs. Adesida. She's going to be talking to us about women empowerment, because from experience and talking to people, I realized that as a woman, you have to have your own source of income. If you don't have source of income, I bet you, you know, over a nappy, over a pampers, over a Maggie. You know, even if your husband is Dangote or it is the Prime Minister of Britain, you still have to have your own source of income, my dear sister. Because elomi gon tun ni owo ajo to ko o de tun jiya ko tun le fowo yen báwo lowo ise fe di multiple, you know, o tun wa padi o de fe para e lórí ibi tó tin padi àbí ibi tó tin wo pé àfi baba lágbájá o gbọ́dọ̀ kó wá ni, you know. So àwọn said that joye wa pé you need to have your own source of income, and tó bá tún wá ní ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ ní discussion as to my own money is my own money, you know. Tí n bá de fẹ́ sacrifice àbí tí n bá fẹ́ dá sí, you know, there shouldn't be compulsion in what I should do or what I can do with my money. These are some of the misconceptions we have in Islam. Oti ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ọkùnrin wá ti believe pé ẹni tó lẹ́rú ló lẹ́rù. So mo ti fẹ́ èmi ni mo ní gbogbo àlámọ̀rí ilé ayé ẹ. This is not what Islam. This is not what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has exemplified, you know. So we have the most beautiful religion. We have the most beautiful example. The life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and that of Khadija is enough for us as Muslims. Khadija is she runs she's all her life she was a trader, you know, trading caravans and other stuff, and then the Prophet supported her in war, you know, her business. And in history, she happens to be one of the women who lived. Why was she so important to the Prophet's mission? Why was she so important to the Prophet's job? Why was she so important to the missionary of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? That's because she was able to support the Prophet with everything she has, financially, you know, a connection as a trader, knowing people here and there. She was an entrepreneur, you know. She does so lots of things, you know, which in turn beautify the prophethood of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the kind of woman we should all aspire to be. You know, you can be a nurse and still say, yeah, I'm the queen in my house. You know, what does the Queen of England does in our house? You know, she's the most amazing thing in our family. You should aspire to be the most amazing, amazing product, you know, of your home, in your house, in your family, in the life of your children. If you are not, then you need to do something different. So we will ask our beautiful mother, Mrs. Adesida, to unmute herself and then take over the program, inshallah. The next 10 minutes, we shall be listening to her. She will definitely take us through a few things. She's joining us from London. We welcome you, madam. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your joining us. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. I am so blessed for being here, and I've really enjoyed all of the speakers. This is so amazing, and thank you. So I'm honored to be here, and thank you for the invitation, and thank you for signposting the time as well, because I know I had 15 minutes, but I will be done in 10 minutes. That's great. So I want to say thank you to my friends, you know, from A levels 40 years ago, by name of Fumi Aisha Lawal, for inviting me. You know, as I said, I've known her. The only time we didn't connect was when she was in uni and I was over here in the UK. And then, as God will have it, we met again in 1989 when I was starting a job where she already worked. And so that's so amazing. And since then, we've been in connection, and I know her family, and, you know, her mom was very, very good to me, helping me with childcare. So, you know, I'm so excited about that. So my name is Mercelina Adeshida. And first, I want to tell you about what I do in terms of my business. I've been a Mary Kay Senior Sales Director, and I've been working my business now for over 24 years. I hold a full-time job. I'm one of the senior managers with Transport for London. So for those of you that don't live in the UK, it's the Underground. So I'm one of the senior managers there. And the Underground has been in existence for over 150 years. And I was the third Black woman to achieve the position that I have. And you know what? I do not take that position lightly at all. Recently, I've been made a non-executive director of the TFL Pension Fund. And again, and that's no mean feat, because we hold one of the largest pension fund in the UK, and one of the best pension in the UK as well. So for me, getting into that place is really to help strategize for the future. I do have other accolades, but today's not for that. Today really is about to talk a little bit about what I do and how you can do what I do or do something that you're gifted in doing. So I started my Mary Kay business 24 years ago. As I said, I was introduced to Mary Kay by my sister-in-law. I really did not want to sell. My background before Mary Kay was I had trained to be a barrister in the UK. And I was working full-time, and I had children. My children were age 3 and 5 at the time. And I said to myself, how can I come and sell, you know, makeup and skincare and whatever else? I'm not interested after my education, but I joined anyway because I really didn't want to cause any problems in my family. I say newly married 5 years, and wow. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Sayidah Zinat Kalejaiye. You taught us about marriages, and I tell you, there's a lot of things that you've said that I 100% sign up to. And so for me, one of the things was I'm like, I'm not going to let my sister-in-law, who is my husband's sister, I'm not going to let her use the fact that I'm not joining her business to dictate how she engages with me. So I'm going to join for 1 year, and I'm going to fail at it. And I want you to hear that word, fail at it. And then obviously, you know, when I fail at it, should leave me alone. But guess what? I'm a good student, and I listen and I learn. And what has happened since my prediction? Well, of course, success upon success upon success. When I started, my husband was not supportive. And again, it's everything that, you know, our sister already shared with us on this platform. He was not supportive at all. I had to earn his support, and I had to show him the money I was earning, used it to support the family. And in turn, 30 years of marriage later, he 110% supports everything that I do. And I'm so excited that I'm married to him. Our children are grown now and they're independent. What have I done with money that I've earned in my Mary Kay business? Well, the very first thing is I owe no one nothing, absolutely nothing. And I'm really excited about that, because having a second income means you can be debt-free, you can be able to support your spouse, you can support other people. So if your spouse is rich, as already been said by our host, when you make that extra income, you can use it to help other people. And that's what I use my money for most of the time. I use it to support a lot of the people and a lot of things that, you know, that needs to be done. In my early days, when I have cash in the bank, I'm like, why should I buy a car? Why should I pay in installments when they're charging me interest? So I will save the money and I will go buy something cash down. And when I say this, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying it is possible. Everyone can achieve this. You know, I hate debts. I hate somebody chasing me for money and that kind of thing. And that's what having a second income has allowed me to do. As I said, there's no debt. We're grateful. We've fully paid our mortgage, as we do have mortgages in the UK. It's not like Nigeria, where you just build your house slowly and get it. You know, I know they do have mortgages in Nigeria now as well, but you know, when I was growing up, a lot of people just build slowly. And, you know, I'm a better woman. And my focus now is building my legacy. And right now I mentor 4 young men in Nigeria. We meet every Saturday at 6 a.m. and we do 1 hour of coaching and development. And I'm so excited. But everything that I teach other people, I got from my Mary Kay business. Now, what is your takeaway from me today? Well, if you want to have an MBA without paying, come and speak with me, because that's what you get when you run a Mary Kay business, or when you run a business. You will get an MBA and you don't have to pay for it. A lot of us go and have education, but we don't use that education. So use what you have now and invest in it. If you're not interested in having a Mary Kay career, then you might be interested in becoming a customer. And again, I will send you what you need to have. And most of our businesses these days is being conducted on Zoom, because we've all pivoted as a result of the pandemic. And then finally, you might not want to buy anything, but you might know people. And again, I would be happy for you to suggest people to me and you will get a free gift. Now, I'm going to give you some tips as I round up. The tips I want to give you is tips to keep growing. And our sister that talked about, you know, marriage, you know, shared a lot of those tips. But one of the tips that I'm going to add is learn something new every day. It's really important. Learn something new every day, because sometimes we just live each day and we don't even go out and learn. Learn a new word. Learn how to pronounce correctly a new word. It's really important. And I am on a quest to learn. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning and I spend from 4:30 to about 7 o'clock learning. You know, I spend that time learning because I don't want, you know, people to disrupt my learning time. I spend it learning, I spend it praying, and I spend it just responding to things that I need to respond. Also, wake up early. You know, you might not be able to wake up at 4:30, but wake up early. Wake up 1 hour before you would normally wake up. There would be so much more that you can do in that hour. Always seek advice, but always seek advice from people that you want to emulate. Don't go and seek advice, you know, and again, that was mentioned earlier. Always seek advice from people that you can see they're trotting the right path and you want to be in that path as well. And finally, always write down everything that you learn. I've been making notes today, you know, of the things that have been shared on this platform, because you learn every time. So always make a note of everything that you've learned, because when we hear something, we retain just a little bit. When we hear something and we write it down, we retain a lot more. But what is powerful is when we hear, write, and teach it to other people, then we will retain almost 99% of the things that we've learned. So for me, I'm happy to come back here on this platform. There's so many topics that I can train on, but first of all, you've got to meet me and you've got to know a little bit about me. But I can train on confidence, fear, pressure, busyness. And again, that's something that was touched upon. You know, this is my last Zoom session for today, and the rest of the day is going to be spent with my husband, because it's so important that we use our time effectively and wisely. And on that note, I'm going to hand back over to our wonderful host. Thank you so much for having me, and Fumi, thank you so much for inviting me. And I will stay till the end to answer any questions that you have. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Never disappointed. We are so glad that you are able to make it, even though I am aware it was a very, very short notice. But despite that, thank you very much. And this is your platform, this is your forum. We are all women, and our aim is to support each other and make the women great, build their confidence. So many people are suffering in silence, not sure where to turn to, who to talk to, the right source to get information and other stuff. So I'm so happy you are a professional, you are a learned colleague as well. So feel free to speak to any one of us, inshallah. We have more professionals in our midst. We have medical doctors, we have nurses, we have project managers, we have business tycoons, we have, just name it, anything you want. So thank you so much. Thank you very much. Feel free, if you are a woman, you're looking for support, let us know. Get in touch. Inshallah, we will stick together and stand by each other. Mrs. Adesida, thank you very much once again. Next month, inshallah, we shall be looking forward to having you and hosting you. And thank you to Mrs. Fumi Aisha Muhammad Al-Hawal, our amazing mother as well, for that beautiful job. We put all of this together. May Allah continue to reward and strengthen her. Amen. Right, so we have we move to the question and answer session now. I think we still have Sayidah Zinat with us. I can see one question posted already. If you would like to ask a question, please raise your hand so that we can ask you to unmute. But we will call on our mother to answer that one now. While we hope we will get one or two others, and then the session that we are now is the display and networking session, inshallah. So Mrs. Adesida, please don't go away. We might still need you. Now, Bismillah said. So the question is, when is it okay to say yes, that's going to be enough?
I think when it's okay is considering the four sayings about Prophet Muhammad that I mentioned earlier. But before all that, make sure you go elsewise and check your compatibility, your either AA, your genotype, blood group, everything. So then you consider the same of Prophet Muhammad. I think that's the best time. Because by the time you use the prophets alone, I'm not saying, because people, I don't want people to get me wrong, maybe after the four criteria given by the prophet, at least we shouldn't consider the health issue is very, very, very important. Very, very important. So that we just be blaming ourselves and be spending a lot of money on them. So far we have an options. That is that. Then make sure you're on the same page too. It's also very, very important. And finally, look at the person, because sometimes we have people we have here on the list here, we are all doing fine. And I think if you have anybody dating someone and maybe that person is not after your career, is not after, okay, maybe you've done your degree and you're telling him you want to do your master, and he's telling you, what do you want to use masters for? At least I've not done my own master. Laila, you can't achieve that when I don't achieve anything. No, then you know that person is not the right person for you. So those things must be considered and put into consideration before going far. I think I've answered the person's question. I don't know whether the person is okay with my answers.
Right. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Thank you so much, Sayyidah. Yeah, so if there's any other question, kindly let us know. If not, we move to the... Okay, wa alaikum salam, Mama.
Hamdallah. Please, I would like to ask Sayyidah, you know, especially nowadays and with young sisters that are very new in marriage. When I say new in marriage, I mean those people that are still within the 5 to 10 years of marriage. And believe it or not, that is the time that you face the reality of life. That's when you actually see the other side of the man you are with. So if we have people like this and the husband happens to be the one, because I know when I said I was speaking, she actually cited the example of a woman that never said sorry. And I think same thing is applicable to some men. There are some men, no matter what, they always see themselves as the one always right. And it is the wife that are always there to say, sorry, sorry. If you're in this type of relationship, and as a younger woman, what advice will you give to such a wife to do so as to keep the marriage going? Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, is it that when you have a husband that does not know how to say sorry, that I think that's what the question is all about?
Exactly.
Okay, I think during the courtship period, you should be able to notice whether you can say sorry or not. Whether it's a person that feels sober or not. And sometimes it might be the kind of person I discussed about earlier, that maybe a pretender. So on that issue, you see, I always tell my clients, there's no way you can correct people with superiority. You don't correct that person because you know it all, and nobody knows it all. Perfection belongs to Almighty Allah alone. Why don't you look for a right mood to talk to that person? And I think by the time you check the right mood to talk to the person, Salam alaikum. I thought I said this yesterday. I'm sorry. I don't mean to hurt you, sir. Jokingly, you know, some people jokingly, they'll be able to admit their faults. Now, see what happened. I've asked for forgiveness immediately. You see, it depends. You understand? Approach matters a lot. So when you try that method, it doesn't work out. Try to sit him down one-on-one. See, joking way, about work out. Yeah. More observe, or you try to, maybe he has issue with one of his friends. I was telling you, I will never say sorry to that person. I said, salam alaikum. You can say sorry. It doesn't mean anything. In fact, it shows you are more better than that person in sight of Allah. Because what I do encourage people that, okay, when you say someone has offended you and you want to retaliate, that means you're on the same page with that person in sight of Allah. Oh, so, and if you don't want to be on the same page, you must not revenge. You must learn how to move on. So, and it works a lot for people that work on it. So if that's the second one, the last method is we put it in prayer. Honestly, Allah, wallahi, Allah me like it be daddy washimanshi. Oh, I'm sorry, she. Honest, you'll be surprised. You just wake up one day and say, I'm sorry for everything I have been doing to you. You understand? But if maybe I could remember I was talking to someone and the guy was telling me that, for me to say sorry, it's like sitting down for a jump. And I said, why? He said, because I know it's my mother. Always. I've never seen daddy saying sorry to mommy. So I thought he's doing the right, and I said no. So it took him a lot of time to change that attitude. And I didn't lie. So it's the approach, it matters a lot. You see, sometimes we believe we have our rights, you understand? And Islam has really blessed us in many ways. But at the same time, when you are fighting for that right, don't forget that there's criteria before that right will be achieved, will be benefited as a woman. that accepted all the, there's no way we are trying to be a good Muslim. We are trying to be a righteous Muslim. But at the same time, that does not mean we won't have our own shortcomings. So when you have your husband that is not ready to say sorry, when he always, you see, we have some people that even say sorry is not even their problem. They don't want to have any say in the house. They always want to say it, and that will be the final. Put it in prayer. It will definitely change. I know there is nothing prayer cannot change. And if prayer cannot change that person, then you know Allah has a genuine reason for that kind of attitude from him.
Alhamdulillah.
So, are you okay, my sister?
Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khairan.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Thank you very much. That was a beautiful one. I can see Sajdah's hands up. Would you like to ask a question, my darling?
Assalamu alaikum. It's Sajdah's mom. It's just I'm using their device. Sorry. Basically, it is sort of a question, or maybe not it's more like an acknowledgement. Basically, what it is that I almost didn't join the seminar. I almost didn't join the group thing because all my life I've always identified myself as a Muslim with other non-Yoruba Muslims. Like with I have a lot of Somalian friends and Asian friends. So I've always moved away from the Yoruba Muslim side of things. But thanks to Sister Sayyidah, since I've moved to Manchester, I'm learning, but I'm also, able to, I'm trying to understand the reason why. Now, what I see in all of our lectures, whenever we talk about marriage, is that, like the sister said, the brother would not apologize. The problem with our marriage compared to other culture is that we have a problem with our culture, and the bar is like a barrier in our marriage. So there's a difference between our culture and our religion in our marriage. Do you understand? So what it is that as women, sorry to say this, but we Muslim Yoruba, we don't spend enough time in educating ourselves on our religion. So we rely on the male imam or the male counterpart to lecture us. And when they do that, sorry to say this, but 99% of the time, they will enforce the culture on areas that favors them. You understand? So I've been in marriage, and whenever something goes wrong, even if I'm not wrong, I'm first asked to apologize. And then I'm told that the husband does not apologize because that's the male, but that's culture. That's not religion. You understand? So whenever it favors the men, because you are going to call a man to come and settle it, then whatever they want to emphasize, whatever they want to show the upper hand, then they bring in the culture. You see, so but because we spend a lot of time relying on them for guidance, we oversight the fact that the first thing that the Prophet fought for in Islam was the rights of the woman. But we don't emphasize on that anymore. We don't push that forward anymore. You understand? Because to push it forward in the sight of the men is an act of disobedience. And that always shows in our marriage. So when I'm with the other culture, when I'm with my Somalian friends and they're talking about marriage, they don't talk about rights and wrong and those and that. Because to them, it's something that they already administrate from Islam. So all these things that we're just learning, they've already admitted. So when they're talking about marriage, they're talking about compassion. So then they are looking into, they are showing me endless hadith of compassion. When we talk about the Prophet's successful marriages, is because every single wife of his was talking about his compassion. But we don't talk about compassion. We're busy talking about, I sat in the forum all day now, since 12 o'clock, listening to rules and regulations. And yet marriage is not based on regiments. It's really, any marriage that has succeeded is based on compassion. Sometimes, for example, they'll tell you that you're supposed to cook for the husband, but you go to certain marriages and the husband is in the kitchen cooking, and then you're saying, but you shouldn't be. He said, no, it's okay. It's all right. I love my wife, because they have compassion. Do you understand? There are certain things that override all these rules and regulations sometimes because they have compassion. And I think as females, I don't think we should spend too much time talking about what you should be kneeling down, you should be this is your right. I think we should talk a lot more about what makes a marriage successful, which is compassion. You understand? A lot of forgiveness comes because we have compassion. You understand? And when I go to the other culture, they were just talking about how the prophet used to play with his wife. And then I'm speaking to a Somalian imam. He's telling me, oh, he tickles his wife at night because he wants to play with that. And I'm thinking, well, you're telling me all this. He said, but if I don't tell you, how do you know? How do you know how you're supposed to be? But we don't talk about things like that. We talk about rules. We talk about regulations. But we say, even when the sister wanted to talk about compassion, she gave it just a few snips. And yet, the majority of the hadith that we so-called emphasize on, we're all talking about compassion. And I think, I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, all what we're saying was wrong. It's right. But I think we need to ease off a little bit on that for marriages to be successful, because we spend a lot of time for years talking about rules and regulation and who's right and who's wrong. And I think we should even just spend like a whole seminar talking about passion. And there's so many reasons why, because the prophet and his wife all the time, they were just having passion, compassion, whether it's intimacy, whether it's publicly, whether it's kissing, whether it's even during Ramadan, he hugged his wife, he kissed, he embraced them. We don't spend enough time talking about what makes a marriage worthwhile, what makes you, you know, the happiness side of things. We talk about the rules of when things go wrong, almost as if we emphasize that every time things will go wrong. But let's overlook that for a second and let's focus. I just believe that it'd be more worthwhile if we focus a little. I'm trying to get my younger sisters to listen, but they said, no, you're going to talk about the same old, which is true. But I want them to learn something, and they feel they will learn more if you tell them about compassion. There's so many hadith in the Quran about the compassion between the prophet and his wives, you know, that we don't lay emphasis on. You know, I just think that, you know, it's a time worthwhile. I will learn a lot more, I believe, if by culture we spend a lot of time talking about what will make him happy or what will make her happy. Go on holidays, do this, you know, express more on compassion. And I think, you know, not only would we get older people, because on the platform now we have older people, but we need young generation to also be involved in this. But we can't if we're not tapping into issues that is really what it should be about. And
Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Thank you so much, Sajda. That was a very beautiful one. And I am not surprised at all. I actually was expecting that. And it's really amazing to have your contribution because it's like a practical shift. Okay, you nail it, and it's highly appreciated, honestly. And I was gonna add this to it, but I just want us to take all the questions and then the answers, and then we know, okay, we are rounding up now. So regarding what she said, that we should focus more on compassion. Yeah, that's true. It is very, very important. May Allah continue to make it easy for us. And I think personally, the problem we have, our culture, you know, mixing it with Islam. We want to be Muslims and we still want to be Yoruba Muslims. We want to practice our Nigerian culture as well. So all of this gives us a big problem. And when I say big problem, what do I mean? It is the problem of role modeling. You know, from the response of our mother, Sayidah Zinat, she did say, somebody said, oh, but all my life I've seen my mom apologizing to my dad, never for once my dad. And this person said, to say sorry is like writing JAMB exam. You know, this is an average response you get from a typical Nigerian male Muslim. You know, may Allah help us and help our community. You know, as a Muslim, sometimes I almost say that, oh my God, you know, I admire the British people, honestly, because saying sorry, they see it as a good omen. Like they see it as something that is that should be part of you, and this is what they want us to teach the children from the young age. So, and this is why I did mention earlier that we should focus on our own children. You can say, I'm in it, I'm in it. Yeah, you can be in it, but what about your children? What about the children that you are raising up? Are you going to raise somebody who is going to be afraid to speak, who is going to be afraid to ask the spouse questions and to make their opinions known? So we should start asking ourselves serious questions from here, honestly. This session is to tickle us and to make us think, okay, we will be having challenges. There's no doubt about that. So how do we manage them? How do we cope? Most of all of these things, sometimes you say, is always the problem of obìnrin. Obìnrin ló máa ń jẹ̀bi all the time. This is what our sister has said. Why is it that ọkùnrin náà ò lè hold up? Káwọn náà sọ pé, okay, I am sorry, my dear. So some of our bàbá tá ń sọ yìí, ẹlòmíì ti 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 gan nínú wọn, you know, so it might be hard, you know, to change somebody else. But what about our own children? What about the generation that we are raising? Don't give up on anybody. You have your spouse, still talk about it, whatever you want. The idea of being compassionate, you know, you cannot be a Muslim and not have compassion. Then you are not a Muslim. You know, most of the time, what happens is you see people pick and choose this from the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They pick the ones that best suit them. They pick the ones that will make them shush the woman. You know, come on, keep quiet, my dear. When I speak, you dare not speak. This is not Islam. You know, if that happened, that was to be Islam, the Prophet should be the one who would not have allowed Khadija to have done something meaningful with her life. But look at all the wives of the Prophet, all the wives of Rasulullah, starting from Khadija. Look at Aisha. Even the Prophet personally sent the male companions to the Prophet, to his wife Aisha, for knowledge. He did told them, he signposted them to say, if you want more knowledge, more questions to be answered about the deen, go to my wife, go to Aisha. She will explain to you. You know, this is just to tell you, to show you how the Prophet has empowered his wives. Not one, even every other of his wives, they have one or other things that they do for the deen and for the people around them. So what's happening to us then? It's not a problem with the religion, it's a problem with that culture. May Allah help us. Let's get Ajia Mardia.
Sallallahu
Alaihi Wasallam.
Jazakallah khairan for all the contributions. I just want to touch a little bit on what the sister said before, Sister Hamdallah. She was talking about compassion between the female. Yeah, one thing we should understand is we are Nigerians, we are Muslim Nigeria. For me to have gotten married to a Nigerian man, I understand that this is what I want to get into. And if we say we want to talk about compassion, it shouldn't be just for the female alone. It should be for the male as well. If the male and the female are together, that's the husband and the wife, then we're talking about compassion. If the female has got the compassion, she knows it to herself. We all know she's got it, but does the husband understand that the wife has got this compassion, which he has to give her as well? And we Muslims, we're here because we're in UK and we think, oh, other cultures, they don't have their own, you know, flaws as well. They do have their own, but it might not be as obvious as our Yoruba culture thing. Yeah, we've put a lot of culture into our religion, but at the same time, it is what we know. This is what I'm getting into and I want to get into it. It's left for me to say, oh, me or she, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I mean, UK doesn't mean I have to forget my culture. My culture as a Yoruba girl is different from my religion as a Yoruba lady. So please, I just want us to understand that it goes both ways. Male and female, my husband and wife should be together before we can talk about compassion. It's between the husband and the wife, not between the female alone. So Sister Hamdallah, maybe in the next session, it might be maybe just asking questions about if anybody has got anything they want to share about their partners, and then you can enlighten us about it. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much, Haja Mardiya. That was a beautiful one, short, brief. We really appreciate that, and it's taken, inshallah. So I try to put the polls on so that if you want to suggest topic or of discussion in one of our Sisters Forum series, that would be really appreciated. Please put it in pop it down in the group chat. We'll get hold of it. Topics that you like us to treat as well in our other sessions, we will pick them up, inshallah. So come next month, inshallah, last Saturday, same time, 12 noon, we shall meet again for another beautiful edition of our Sisters Forum. But before we go, I think Mrs. Adesida might want to say one or two things about compassion and affection in marriage. Before I go back to her, I want few of our sisters to get ready. I think we have 5 minutes slot for displays about what our sisters, what they do. So 5 minutes for displays and networking, you know. So we have some of us who are into various forms of businesses. So I think, do we have Umu Bilal? We have Ajia Kudra as well. She's one of our beautiful sisters in Manchester. We will want you to unmute for a couple of minutes as well, Ajia, if you are there. But we'll take Mrs. Adesida's contribution about compassion and affection in marriage.
Wow, amazing. Good topics and good conversations. I've been married for 30 years and happily my husband shows more compassion and affection than I do. But I did, and I learned how to do it again. It is so, so important. I've heard the debates. Our culture is important, but we shouldn't let our culture rule how we, how we engage in our marriage. Compassion is extremely important because sometimes it's not even just for our husbands, but for everyone that surrounds us that makes the family. And then in terms of affection, some people, when you see myself and my husband, sometimes you think we're newly married because we'll sit close to each other. He's talking, but when we get home, sometimes we're not that way, but generally it's really important to show your affections. And, thanks to the lady that talked about the other Muslim faith and how they treat their wives, I think we have to be mindful that we're Nigerians. I'm Nigerian, and our culture, we need to separate culture from religion because they're not the same. But you know what? If you don't know how to have compassion, you can go learn it. Don't wait till it's visited upon you. And affection is a given because that's what we got married. God made man and woman so that they can be together. So thank you for that opportunity to speak on that. Thank you.
Yeah, you are very welcome. Thank you very much. So do we have Umu Bilal? Please unmute yourself. Tell us briefly about what you do. And Ajia Monsurat, I don't know whether she's still with us. Ajia Hamdallah Mahmoud Roji. Ajia Kudro. Ajia Kudro, we'd like to hear. Ajia Kudro. Yeah, so.
No. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakumullahu khairan for this beautiful presentation. And I thank the organizers and thank all the presenters for educating us. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I actually joined late, so I think I've missed a bit about the program. My name is Kodrat Atoloye Adeyemi. I'm not quite sure what you want me to talk about, but I would say that I've enjoyed every bit of this conversation today. And basically, I think we've been talking about marriage and how to manage a home properly. Is that, I think I'm right on that, isn't it?
Yes, you are.
Can you please tell me again, what do you want me to talk about?
Yeah, today we've been discussing about coping with challenges in marriages. So, and I know you are one of our big sisters in Manchester with loads of experience. We just want to encourage our sisters that we are Muslims, we are Muslima, we are Nigerians, and we still want the best both here and in the hereafter in our marriages and every aspect of our life.
Yes,
It's word of encouragement, basically.
Yes, as we know, life itself is full and that He has created us not for jest. It's for us to be patient and we would not attain success except when we have been patient. Various challenges that Allah will throw, at us. So marriage is a very important aspect of the religion, and to be the foundation of Islam. Like my sister has to understand a lot about, each spouses must understand themselves. And as long as we put, the foundation of the home based on Islamic ethics, which has shown us how to be a good Muslim, the right, everyone has a right. Man has a right, the wife has a right. And as long as we stand, by what the Prophet has taught us, we've seen it with our wives, how and more support our mother Khadija gave to the Prophet, the teachings of the Quran, and we try to married into an institution where we're going to be dealing with issues we've never met before. We're going to be solving problems that not earlier arising. So how? By trying to understanding, by trying to look into have in Allah. Like I said, each spouse should understand each other, try to understand the mood of each other, and know the right time to speak to your spouses, and know the right time to react, and know the right time to try to ensure that you do not aggravate things as well. Marriage is an institution where we practice our deen. We practice our deen, and it's an institution whereby we get a lot of reward if we do it correctly. As women, we are the mothers of the future. So when we marry, it helps us to achieve a lot of reward by serving Allah through our husbands. Before marriage, it's important for us to have a kind of an agreement. For instance, now, if you're a career person, you can agree with your husband to say, I'm going to carry on working when we get married. These are the things that are allowed in Islam. Because if we don't have that kind of agreement, then we run into problems. And of course, we should try and be in circumstances that we find ourselves. It is good when, as with the other religion, they always have a kind of counseling marriage. I don't think it's something that we Muslims put in consideration. Because when we have counseling, then we what we expect when we get married. And it's also important for us to know
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. I think the network is beginning to play up. So we got that message from our beautiful sister Hajia Kodra. Shukran Jazilan. May Allah reward you with the best of rewards for us. Allahumma ameen. So, and we intend to do a bit of display of some of our sisters' stuffs, but we might push those to next month, inshallah Rahman. So, but at least even if it's one, I know we have Bilal Graphics. She does all the designs for us. It won't be fair not to show anything of our stuffs. Yeah, she did this one. Let's see. Thank you, Bilal. Jazakillahu khairan. And let's see anymore. So we have some of our other sisters as well who does other things for a living, having second stream of income. You know, this is what we want to encourage. We don't want our women to be those people who fold their arms or lack in whatever it is that we need in life. So having your own source of income will empower you, will make you stronger, will build your self-esteem even in your relationship, not just in your marital relationship, even in your relationship with your Lord, with your Rob, you know, knowing that you can conveniently be rest assured of what to eat, you know, even praying, doing your 5 daily namaz or whatever it is connection you want to build with your God, you will feel like this is the saying, one of the Yoruba adages. So it is very, very important as women that we have source of income. We have our own way of earning, so that you don't have to be that woman. Yoruba it's okay to wait and say, okay, come for me, but there's no crime in you having your own source of income. Try to do something, work about this. Most relationship fails. Most marriages don't work out because the expectations, maybe the 1% of liability more. So what are you doing to make your life better? You know, since morning we're talking about coping with challenges in marriages. Okay, some people, they will do everything to make sure their marriage work, and the marriage still don't work. Are we thinking about that as well? Does it mean most of us will now be looking at, oh, I'm the bad one, I'm the down one? You know, you don't have to pull yourself down. You are not the bad one. If it's not working and you've tried everything, you've prayed about it, you've done whatever you are supposed to do, then accept. You know, but just make sure that you do something differently. Okay, if you are in a relationship and somebody is not interested anymore, you know, most of us women, what we do is we change our wardrobe, we change our look, we change our outfits, we better the way people see us in the streets, and then they'll say, oh, I can't believe that she's alone. I can't believe that she's single mom. She's nursing the children alone. She's really looking nice. You know, don't take care of your look. Take care of your ambition, your expectations about life. You know, take care of your source of income. Upgrade yourself, upgrade your life. Don't upgrade the size of shoe, the heel of your shoe. I saw some post on Facebook from some of the men. You know, they said, okay, this is when you are single, this is when she's married, this is when, you know, the relationship didn't work out. Sometimes you try everything. Yes, they said we should pray about it. They said we should beg. They said we should say, I am sorry. You do all of those and it still don't work. If it doesn't work, you can't kill yourself about it. You know, then do something differently. You know, take care of yourself. Learn new languages like Mrs. Adesida told us. Learn new things, learn new stuffs. Upgrade your life. Go for new things, you know. Get exposed into good things. I'm not saying you should go partying and drinking and doing all sorts of things that are haram. No. Learn new languages. Learn Arabic. Learn French. Learn German. Learn Spanish. you know, if you are not the outspoken person, take courses that will build your self-confidence. Things that will upgrade you in life, that you will look at yourself and be glad you did some good things to yourself. You want to become a woman that when your children sees you, they feel proud. Oh yeah, that's my mom. You don't want to become that smelly stuff, old stuff at 40 looking like a 70, 80-year-old mom just because somebody neglected you or somebody doesn't want you anymore. Come on, look after yourself. Take care of yourself, take care of your life. Your destiny is in your hand. As a woman, your destiny is in your hand. Take care of your take care of your life. You know, Bobo Alama loko fine. Todo so fun ebe. Elomi ò ní ní tó máa fi padà sọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Elomi dẹ̀ máa ní wọn níjọ́ dalẹ́. Elomi máa ní kì í ṣe pé wọ́n fẹ́ yára wọn. Tí kú bá dé ńkọ́, kí ló sọ fún yín pé ẹ lè pínyà? Àwọn nǹkan kan wà tó lè pín yín níyà deliberately ní number túláàsì ní number mo fẹ́. There are things that you don't have control over. Fine, we are talking about coping here. We want everybody to cope with challenges. Challenges is part of life because we are not in Jannah, just like I said before. So you should expect that there's going to be issues. There's going to be bumps on the way, but not, you know, preparing for it or your shock absorber. You need to work on it so that you'll be able to take it when things don't happen. You know, so that's my own take from the whole thing, my own short summary about the whole talk for over 2 hours that we've been here. We are trying to encourage us as women, but then if you need to seek help, please seek help. In the UK, we have the Citizens Advice and other stuff. We have the Women Aid. We have so many places that you can turn to for help. May Allah continue to help us. Don't leave prayer out of whatever you are doing. Prayer helps, you know. So, and may Allah continue to preserve us all for his deen. Bijai la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu. We call on Bilal, inshallah, to do the closing prayer for us, inshallah. Now, bismillah. Closing prayer. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much, Jazakallah khairan, the host and the other presenters. Thank you, Jazakallah khairan, for over 2 hours you've been enlightening us and putting us to the right path, giving us answers to challenges in marriages, and then trying to help us sort out some different challenges that all marriages might be going through. I say Jazakallah khairan to all of you.
Yeah, I think we have issues with the network there. That's not a problem. May Allah not make this the last one that we do. We pray that Allah preserve our life to be able to come together again next month and for a very long time. Inshallah Rahman. Allahumma Rabbana atina fi dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adhaban nar. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin. Hamdalillahi rabbil alamin. Looking forward to see everyone again next month, same time, 12 noon, inshallah. Masalam.